Dewey Decimal Classification. Centennial 1870, 1976. Facsimile reprinted. By Forest Press Division, Lake Placid Educational Foundation. Printed and bound Kingsport Press, Inc., Kingsport, Tennessee. Classification. And Subject Index. For Cataloging and Arranging the Books and Pamphlets of a Library. Amherst, Mass., 1876. Copyrighted 1876. Melvil Dewey. Preface. The plan of the following classification and index was developed early in 1873. It was the result of several months' study of library economy, as found in some hundreds of books and pamphlets, and in over 50 personal visits to various American libraries. In this study, the author became convinced that the usefulness of these libraries might be greatly increased without additional expenditure. 3 years' practical use of the system here explained leads him to believe that it will accomplish this result. For with its aid, the catalogues, shelf lists, indexes, and cross-references essential to this increased usefulness can be made more economically than by any other method which he has been able to find. The system was devised for cataloging and indexing purposes, but it was found on trial to be equally valuable for numbering and arranging books and pamphlets on the shelves. The library is first divided into 9 special libraries which are called classes. These classes are philosophy, theology, and C, and are numbered with the 9 digits. Thus, Class 9 is the Library of History, Class 7, the Library of Fine Art, Class 2, the Library of Theology. These special libraries or classes are then considered independently, and each one is separated again into 9 special divisions of the main subject. These divisions are numbered from 1 to 9, as were the classes. Thus, 59 is the 9th division, zoology, of the 5th class, natural science. A final division is then made by separating each of these divisions into 9 sections which are numbered in the same way, with the 9 digits. Thus, 513 is the 3D section, geometry, of the 1st division, mathematics, of the 5th class, natural science. This number, giving class, division, and section, is called the classification or class number, and is applied to every book or pamphlet belonging to the library. All the geometries are thus numbered 513, all the mineralogies 549, and so throughout the library, all the books on any given subject bear the number of that subject in the scheme. Whereas 0 occurs in a class number, it has its normal 0 power. Thus, a book numbered 510 is Class 5, Division 1, but no section. This signifies that the book treats of the Division 51, mathematics in general, and is not limited to any one section, as is the geometry, marked 513. If marked 500, it would indicate a treatise on science in general, limited to no division. A 0 occurring in the first place would in the same way show that the book is limited to no class. The classification is mainly made by subjects or content regardless of form, but it is found practically useful to make an additional distinction in these general treatises, according to the form of treatment adopted. Thus, in science we have a large number of books treating of science in general, and so having a 0 for the division number. These books are then divided into sections, as are those of the other classes according to the form they have taken on. We have the philosophy and history of science, scientific compends, dictionaries, essays, periodicals, societies, education, and travels, all having the common subject, equals natural science equals, but treating it in these varied forms. These form distinctions are introduced here because the number of general works is large, and the numerals allow of this division, without extra labor, for the numbers from 501 to 509 would otherwise be unused. They apply only to the general treatises, which, without them, would have a class number ending with 2 zeros. A dictionary of mathematics is 510, not 503, for every book is assigned to the most specific head that will contain it, so that 503 is limited to dictionaries or cyclopedias of science in general. In the same way, a general cyclopedia or periodical treats of no one class, and so is assigned to the class 0. These books treating of no special class but general in their character are divided into cyclopedias, periodicals, etc. No difficulty is found in following the arithmetical law and omitting the initial 0. So these numbers are printed 31, 32, etc., instead of 31, 32, etc. The selection and arrangement of the 1,000 headings of the classification cannot be explained in detail for want of space. In all the work, philosophical theory and accuracy have been made to yield to practical usefulness. The impossibility of making a satisfactory classification of all knowledge as preserved in books has been appreciated from the first, and nothing of the kind attempted. Theoretical harmony and exactness has been repeatedly sacrificed to the practical requirements of the library or to the convenience of the department in the college. As in every scheme, many minor subjects have been put under general heads to which they do not strictly belong. In some cases, these headings have been printed in a distinctive type, e.g., 429 equals Anglo-Saxon equals, under equals English philology. The rule has been to assign these subjects to the most nearly allied heads, or where it was thought they would be most useful. The only alternative was to omit them altogether. If any such omission occurs, it is unintentional and will be supplied as soon as discovered. Wherever practicable, the heads have been so arranged that each subject is preceded and followed by the most nearly allied subjects, and thus the greatest convenience is secured both in the catalogues and on the shelves. Theoretically, the division of every subject into just 9 heads is absurd. Practically, it is desirable that the classification be as minute as possible without the use of additional figures, and the decimal principle on which our scheme hinges allows 9 divisions as readily as a less number. This principle has proved wholly satisfactory in practice, though it appears to destroy proper coordination in some places. It has seemed best in our library to use uniformly 3 figures in the class number. This enables us to classify certain subjects very minutely, giving, for example, an entire section to chess. But the history of England has only one section, as our scheme is developed, and thus the two might be said to be coordinated. The apparent difficulty in such cases is entirely obviated by the use of a 4th figure, giving 9 subsections to any subject of sufficient importance to warrant closer classification. In history, where the classification is made wholly by countries, a 4th figure is added to give a division into periods. As the addition of each figure gives a 10-fold division, any desired degree of minuteness may be secured in the classing of special subjects. The apparent lack of coordination arises from the fact that only the first 3 figures of these more important heads are as yet printed, the 4th figure and the subsections being supplied on the catalogues in manuscript. Should the growth of any of these subsections warrant it, a 5th figure will be added, for the scheme admits of expansion without limit. The arrangement of headings has been sometimes modified to secure a mnemonic aid in numbering and finding books without the index. For instance, the scheme is so arranged that China has always the number 1. In ancient history, it has the first section, 931. In modern history, under Asia, it has 951. In philology, the Chinese language appears as 491. After the same manner, the Indian number is 2, Egyptian 4, English 2, German 3, French 4, Italian 5, Spanish 6, European 4, Asian 5, African 6, North American 7, South American 8, and so for all the divisions by languages or countries. The Italian 5, for instance, will be noticed in 35, 55, 450, 755, 850, and 945. This mnemonic principle is specially prominent in philology and literature and their divisions, and in the form distinctions used in the first 9 sections of each class. Materials, methods, or theory occurring anywhere as a head bears always the number 1. Dictionaries, encyclopedias, 3, essays, 4, periodicals, 5, associations, institutions, and societies, 6, education, 7, collections, 9. In the numerous cases where several minor heads have been grouped together under the head other, it always bears the number 9. Wherever practicable, this principle is carried out in subdividing the sections. For instance, the geology of North America, which bears the number 557, is subdivided by adding the sections of 970, History of North America. The geology of Mexico then bears the number 5578. Mnemonically, the first 5 is the science number, the second 5, geology, the 7, North America, and the 8, Mexico. Any library attendant or reader after using the scheme a short time will recognize at a glance any catalog or ledger entry, book, or pamphlet marked 5578 as something on the geology of Mexico. Users of the scheme will notice this mnemonic principle in several hundred places in the classification, and will find it of great practical utility in numbering and finding books without the aid of catalog or index, and in determining the character of any book simply from its call number as recorded on the book, on all its catalog and cross-reference cards, on the ledger, and in the checkbox. In naming the headings, brevity has been secured in many cases at the sacrifice of exactness. It was thought more important to have short, familiar titles for the headings than that the names given should express with fullness and exactness the character of all books catalogued under them. Many subjects, apparently omitted, will be found in the index, assigned, with allied subjects, to a heading which bears the name of the most important only. Reference to this subject index will decide at once any doubtful points. In arranging books in the classification, as in filling out the scheme, practical usefulness has been esteemed the most important thing. The effort has been to put each book under the subject to the student of which it would be most useful. The content, or the real subject of which a book treats, and not the form or the accidental wording of the title, determines its place. Following this rule, a philosophy of art is put with art, not with philosophy, a history of mathematics with mathematics, not with history, for the philosophy and history are simply the form which these books have taken. The true content or subject is art and mathematics, and to the student of these subjects they are most useful. The predominant tendency or obvious purpose of the book usually decides its class number at once. Still, many books treat of two or more different subjects, and in such cases it is assigned to the place where it will be most useful, and underneath the class number are written the numbers of any other subjects on which it also treats. These cross-references are given both on the plate and the subject card as well as on the cross-reference card. If a book treats of a majority of the sections of any division, it is given the division number instead of the most important section number with cross-references. Collected works, libraries, etc., are either kept together and assigned like individual books to the most specific head that will contain them, or assigned to the most prominent of the various subjects on which they treat with cross-references from the others, or are separated and the parts classed as independent works. Translations are classed with their originals. The alphabetical subject index is designed to guide, both in numbering and in finding the books. In numbering, the most specific head that will contain the book having been determined, reference to that head in the index will give the class number to which it should be assigned. In finding books on any given subject, reference to the index will give the number under which they are to be sought on the shelves, in the shelf catalog, or in the subject catalog. The index gives after each subject the number of the class to which it is assigned. Most names of countries, towns, animals, plants, minerals, diseases, and sea have been omitted, the aim being to furnish an index of subjects on which books are written, and not a gazetteer or a dictionary of all the nouns in the language. Such subjects will be found as special chapters or sections of books on the subjects given in the index. The names of individual subjects of biographies will be found in the class list of biography. Missions of any of the more general subjects will be supplied when brought to notice. In arranging the books on the shelves, the absolute location by shelf and book number is wholly abandoned, the relative location by class and book number being one of the most valuable features of the plan. The class number serves also as the location number, and the shelf number in common use is entirely dispensed with. Accompanying the class number is the book number, which prevents confusion of different books on the same subject. Thus, the first geometry catalogued is marked 513-1, the second 513-2, and so on to any extent, the last number showing how many books the library has on that subject. The books of each section are all together and arranged by book numbers, and these sections are also arranged in simple numerical order throughout the library. The call number 51311 signifies not the 11th book on shelf 513, or alcove 5, range 1, shelf 3, as in most libraries, but signifies the 11th book in subject 513 or the 11th geometry belonging to the library. In finding the book, the printed numbers on the backs are followed, the upper being the class and the lower the book number. The class is found in its numerical order among the classes as the shelf is found in the ordinary system. The book in its numerical order in the class. The shelves are not numbered, as the increase of different departments, the opening of new rooms, and any arrangement of classes to bring the books most circulated nearest to the delivery desk will bring different class numbers on a given shelf. New books as received are numbered and put into place, in the same way that new titles are added to the card catalog. The single digit occasionally prefixed to the book number, e.g. the 3 in 421-3-7, is the nearest height in decimeters of books too large to be put on the regular library shelves, which are only 212 decimeters apart. The great mass of the library consists of 2 decimeter books, the size numbers of which are omitted. Books from 212 to 312 decimeters in height have 3 prefixed to the book number and are found on the bottom shelf of each range. The larger sizes are prefixed with 4, 5, and C, and are found on the special shelves provided in order to avoid the great waste of space otherwise occasioned by the relative location. By this use of the size numbers, a close economy of space is secured. Thus, all the books on any given subject are found standing together, and no additions or changes ever separate them. Not only are all the books on the subject sought, found together, but the most nearly allied subjects precede and follow, they in turn being preceded and followed by other allied subjects as far as practicable. Readers not having access to the shelves find the short titles arranged in the same order on the shelf catalog, and the full titles, imprints, cross-references, notes, and C on the subject catalog. The uncatalogued pamphlets treating of any subject bear the same class number and are arranged on the shelves immediately after the books of each section. In both the author's catalog and the subject index, brevity has been studied because of the economy, but more because of the much greater ease of reference to a short title catalog. The custom of giving full titles, etc., under authors, and only references or very brief titles under subjects has been reversed. A reader seeking a book of a known author, in the vast majority of cases, wants simply the number by which to call for it, and can find it much sooner in a brief title catalog. In the rare cases where more is needed, the class number refers instantly to all these facts on the cards. On the other hand, a reader seeking books on a known subject needs the full title, imprint, cross-references, and notes to enable him to choose the book best suited to his wants. The subject catalog is a full title shelf list on cards and is for the use of the public. The shelf list is a short title subject catalog in book form, made of separate sheets laced into an Emerson binder, and is for official use. We thus have, without extra labor, both full and short title subject catalogs and shelf lists. The public author's catalog is a printed volume, the official author's catalog or index is on cards. As a result, each of the public catalogs is checked by an official catalog, each of the card catalogs by a book catalog, each of the brief title catalogs by a full title catalog, an advantage that will be appreciated by all librarians desiring accuracy of administration and catalogs. The Arabic numerals can be written and found more quickly, and with less danger of confusion or mistake than any other symbols whatever. Therefore, the Roman numerals, capitals and small letters, and similar symbols usually found in systems of classification are entirely discarded, and by the exclusive use of Arabic numerals in their regular order throughout the shelves, classifications, indexes, catalogs, and records, there is secured the greatest accuracy, economy, and convenience. This advantage is especially prominent in comparison with systems where the name of the author or the title must be written in calling for or charging books, and in making references. Throughout the catalogs, the number of a book shows not only where it is, but what it is. On the library accounts, the character of each person's reading is clearly indicated by the numbers charged, and the minutest statistics of circulation in any subject are made by simply counting the call slips in the checkbox and recording the number against the class number in the record. By the use of size numbers, the greatest possible economy of space may be secured, for the size distinction may be made for every inch or even less if desired, and this without additional labor, as it will be seen that the size figure, when introduced, requires one less figure in the book number, and so does not increase the number of digits as would at first appear. Parts of sets and books on the same or allied subjects are never separated as they are sure to be, sooner or later, in every library arranged on the common plan, unless it be frequently rearranged and recatalogued. The great expense of this recataloguing makes it impracticable except for a few very wealthy libraries. In this system, the catalog and book numbers remain unchanged through all changes of shelving, buildings, or arrangement. In addition to its own peculiar merits, this plan has all the advantages of the card catalog principle and of the relative location, which have been used and very strongly approved by prominent libraries. As in the card catalog system, there is room for indefinite expansion without devices or provisions. Space is the only requisite, and if the shelf room is exhausted, the floor space is equally good, except for the inconvenience of stooping. Some prominent opponents of classed catalogs have admitted that the subject index, in deciding where to class a book at first and where to look for it ever afterwards, has removed their strongest objections. Certainly, it would be impossible to make an index more cheaply or more easy of reference, it being a single alphabet of single words followed by single numbers. These class numbers applied to pamphlets have proved specially satisfactory. The number is written on the upper left corner, and the pamphlets are arranged either in pamphlet cases with the books on the same subject or on special shelves divided every decimeter by perpendicular sections. As each pamphlet is examined when received into the library, it is the work of a single moment to pencil on it its class number. There is no expense whatever incurred, and yet the entire pamphlet resources of the library on any subject can be produced almost instantly. The immense advantages of this plan over those in common use, both in economy and usefulness, will be appreciated by every librarian caring for a pamphlet collection. A catalog of authors may be made on slips if desired. The pamphlets themselves are the best subject catalog. Though designed wholly for library use, the plan has proved of great service in preserving newspaper clippings in large envelopes arranged by class numbers, and more especially in taking the place of the common notebook and index rerum. Slips of uniform size are used with the class number of the subject written on the corner. Minute alphabetical headings are used under each class number, the slips being arranged in numerical order like the subject card catalog. Clippings and notes arranged in this way are at all times their own complete index and have the same advantages over the common scrap and notebooks that the subject catalog has over the accessions book in looking up the resources of the library on any given subject. Those who have tried this method are so enthusiastic in its praise that it seemed worthy of mention in this place. The plan was adopted in the Amherst College Library in 1873, and the work of transferring the entire library to the new catalog at once commenced. It was found entirely practicable to make the change gradually, as means allowed, without interfering in any appreciable degree with the circulation of the books. The 3 years' trial to which it has been there subjected has more than justified the claims of its friends, and it is now printed with the more confidence on this account. It has been kept in manuscript up to this time, in order that the many minor details might be subjected to actual trial and modified where improvement was possible. The labor involved in preparing the classification and index has been wholly beyond the appreciation of any who have never attempted a similar task. Much valuable aid has been rendered by specialists in many departments, and nearly every member of the faculty has given advice from time to time. Among the many to whom thanks are due, special mention should be made of Mr. C.A. Cutter, the librarian of the Boston Athenaeum, and Mr. John Fiske, of the Harvard University Library, for valuable suggestions and appreciative criticism. While these friends are in no way responsible for any remaining imperfections in the scheme, they should have credit for many improvements which have been made during these 3 years of revision. The essential character of the plan has remained unchanged from the first. Doubtless other improvements are still possible, and it is hoped that users of the scheme will call attention to any proposed change in the naming or arrangement of the headings, or to any omission which should be supplied in the subject index. Before printing, the plan was submitted to quite a number of librarians for criticism. Among the hundreds of points raised as to its practical workings and usefulness, there was only one in which it was not shown to be equal or superior to any other system known. This objection applied only to the arrangement on the shelves, not at all to the catalogs or indexes. It was that in this relative location, a book which this year stands, e.g., at the end of a certain shelf, may not be on that shelf at all another year, because of the uneven growth of the parts of the library. This slight objection inheres in any system where the books are arranged by subjects rather than by windows, doors, shelves, and similar non-intellectual distinctions. In this hurriedly prepared account of his plan, the author has doubtless failed to meet many objections which may be raised and which he could easily answer. He would therefore ask the privilege of replying personally to any such objections, where they arise, believing that it will be possible to answer, if not all, at least a very large proportion. In his varied reading, correspondence, and conversation on the subject, the author doubtless received suggestions and gained ideas which it is now impossible for him to acknowledge. Perhaps the most fruitful source of ideas was the Nuovo Sistema di Catalogo Bibliografico Generale of Nadal Battizzati of Milan. Certainly, he is indebted to this system, adopted by the Italian publishers in 1871, though he has copied nothing from it. The plan of the St. Louis Public School Library and that of the Apprentices' Library of New York, which in some respects resemble his own, were not seen till all the essential features were decided upon, though not given to the public. In filling the 9 classes of the scheme, the inverted Baconian arrangement of the St. Louis Library has been followed. The author has no desire to claim original invention for any part of his system where another has been before him, and would most gladly make specific acknowledgment of every aid and suggestion were it in his power to do so. With these general explanations and acknowledgments, he submits the scheme, hoping it may prove as useful to others as it has to himself. Amherst College Library, June 10, 1876. Those interested will find fuller explanations and remarks in the library volume, now being printed by the Bureau of Education at Washington. General Philosophy, Theology, Sociology, Philology, Natural Science, Useful Arts, Fine Arts, Literature, History. Divisions. General equals 0 equals 10 Bibliography, 20 Book Rarities, 30 General Cyclopedias, 40 Polygraphy, 50 General Periodicals, 60 General Societies, 70, 80, 90. Equals 100 Philosophy, equals 110 Metaphysics, 120, 130 Anthropology, 140 Schools of Psychology, 150 Mental Faculties, 160 Logic, 170 Ethics, 180 Ancient Philosophies, 190 Modern Philosophies. Equals 200 Theology, equals 210 Natural Theology, 220 Bible, 230 Doctrinal Theology, 240 Practical and Devotional, 250 Homiletical and Pastoral, 260 Institutions and Missions, 270 Ecclesiastical History, 280 Christian Sects, 290 Non-Christian Religions. Equals 300 Sociology, equals 310 Statistics, 320 Political Science, 330 Political Economy, 340 Law, 350 Administration, 360 Associations and Institutions, 370 Education, 380 Commerce and Communication, 390 Customs and Costumes. Equals 400 Philology, equals 410 Comparative, 420 English, 430 German, 440 French, 450 Italian, 460 Spanish, 470 Latin, 480 Greek, 490 other languages. Equals 500 Natural Science, equals 510 Mathematics, 520 Astronomy, 530 Physics, 540 Chemistry, 550 Geology, 560 Paleontology, 570 Biology, 580 Botany, 590 Zoology. Equals 600 Useful Arts, equals 610 Medicine, 620 Engineering, 630 Agriculture, 640 Domestic Economy, 650 Communication and Commerce, 660 Chemical Technology, 670 Manufactures, 680 Mechanic Trades, 690 Building. Equals 700 Fine Arts, equals 710 Landscape Gardening, 720 Architecture, 730 sculpture, 740 drawing and design, 750 painting, 760 engraving, 770 photography, 780 music, 790 amusements. Equals 800 literature, equals 810 treatises and collections, 820 English, 830 German, 840 French, 850 Italian, 860 Spanish, 870 Latin, 880 Greek, 890 other languages. Equals 900 history, equals 910 geography and description, 920 biography, 930 ancient history, 940 Europe, 950 Asia, 960 Africa, modern 970 North America, 980 South America, 990 Oceanica and polar regions. General equals 0, equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Equals 10 bibliography, equals 11 general bibliographies, 12 special forms, 13 manuscripts, 14 anonyms, pseudonyms, and c, 15 special countries, 16 special subjects, 17 subject catalogues, 18 authors' catalogues, 19 library economy and reports. Equals 20 book rarities, equals 21 manuscripts, 22 block books, 23 early printed, 24 celebrated printers, 25 celebrated binders, 26 materials, 27 ownership, 28 prohibited, 29 other. Equals 30 general cyclopedias, equals 31 American, 32 English, 33 German, 34 French, 35 Italian, 36 Spanish, 37 Slavic, 38 Scandinavian, 39 other. Equals 40 polygraphy, equals 41 American, 42 English, 43 German, 44 French, 45 Italian, 46 Spanish, 47 Slavic, 48 Scandinavian, 49 other. Equals 50 general periodicals, equals 51 American, 52 English, 53 German, 54 French, 55 Italian, 56 Spanish, 57 Slavic, 58 Scandinavian, 59 other. Equals 60 general societies, equals 61 American, 62 English, 63 German, 64 French, 65 Italian, 66 Spanish, 67 Slavic, 68 Scandinavian, 69 other. Equals 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. Equals 80, equals 80. 182, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Equals 90, equals 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Philosophy equals 100 philosophy, equals 101, 102 compends, 103 dictionaries, 104 essays, 105 periodicals, 106 societies, 107 education, 108, 109 history. Equals 110 metaphysics, equals 111 ontology, 112 methodology, 113 cosmology, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119. Equals 120, equals 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129. Equals 130 anthropology, equals 131 mental physiology and hygiene, 132 mental derangements, 133 delusions, witchcraft, magic, 134 mesmerism, 135 sleep, dreams, somnambulism, 136 sexes, 137 temperaments, 138 physiognomy, 139 phrenology. Equals 140 schools of psychology, equals 141 idealistic, 142 critical, 143 intuitive, 144 empirical, 145 sensational, 146 materialistic, 147 pantheistic, 148 eclectic, 149 other. Equals 150 mental faculties, equals 151 intellect, 152 sense, 153 understanding, 154 memory, 155 reason, 156 imagination, 157 susceptibility, 158 instincts, 159 will. Equals 160 logic, equals 161 inductive, 162 deductive, 163 assent, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169. Equals 170 ethics, equals 171 theoretical, 172 state, 173 family, 174 business, 175 amusements, 176 sexual, 177 social, 178 temperance, 179 other. Equals 180 ancient philosophies, equals 181 Oriental, 182 early Greek, 183 sophistic and Socratic, 184 Platonic, 185 Aristotelian, 186 Pyrrhonist and New Platonist, 187 Epicurean, 188 Stoic, 189 Patristic. Equals 190 modern philosophies, equals 191 Scotch and American, 192 English, 193 German, 194 French, 195 Italian, 196 Spanish, 197 Arabian, 198 Scholastic, 199 other. Theology equals 200 theology, equals 201 philosophy, 202 compends, 203 dictionaries, 204 essays, 205 periodicals, 206 societies, 207 education, 208 209 history. Equals 210 natural theology, equals 211 theism and atheism, 212 pantheism, 213 creation, 214 providence, 215 religion and science, 216 evil, 217 prayer, 218 future life, 219. Equals 220 Bible, equals 221 Old Testament, 222 historical books, 223 poetical books, 224 prophetical books, 225 New Testament, 226 Gospels and Acts, 227 epistles, 228 Apocalypse, 229 Apocrypha. Equals 230 doctrinal, equals 231 God, 232 Christ, 233 man, 234 salvation, 235 angels, 236 death and resurrection, 237 future state, 238 inspiration, 239 apologetics. Equals 240 practical and devotional, equals 241 didactic, 242 meditative, 243 hortatory, 244 ritual, 245 hymnology, 246 public worship, 247 social worship, 248 private worship, 249 religious fiction and anecdote. Equals 250 homiletical and pastoral, equals 251 homiletics, 252 sermons, 253 doctrinal, 254 practical, 255 religion and science, 256 political, 257 ordination, 258 expository, 259 commemorative. Equals 260 institutions and missions, equals 261 church, 262 ecclesiastical polity, 263 Sabbath, 264 baptism, 265 Lord's Supper, 266 missions, 267 foreign, 268 Sunday schools, 269 revivals. Equals 270 ecclesiastical history, equals 271 religious orders, 272 persecutions, 273 doctrines, 274 Europe, 275 Asia, 276 Africa, 277 North America, 278 South America, 279 Oceanica. Equals 280 Christian sects, equals 281 Oriental, 282 Roman Catholic, 283 English and Protestant Episcopal, 284 Presbyterian, 285 Congregational, 286 Baptist, 287 Methodist, 288 Unitarian and Universalist, 289 other Christian sects. Equals 290 non-Christian religions. Equals 291 comparative mythology, 292 Greek and Roman mythology, 293 Norse mythology, 294 Brahmanism and Buddhism, 295 Parsiism, 296 Judaism, 297 Mohammedanism, 298 Mormonism, 299 other. Sociology. Equals 300 sociology, equals 301 philosophy, 302 compends, 303 dictionaries, 304 essays, 305 periodicals, 306 societies, 307 308 309 history. Equals 310 statistics, equals 311 methods, 312 progress of population, 313 progress of civilization, 314 Europe, 315 Asia, 316 Africa, 317 North America, 318 South America, 319 Oceanica. Equals 320 political science, equals 321 patriarchal institutions, 322 feudal institutions, 323 monarchic institutions, 324 republican institutions, 325 colonies and emigration, 326 slavery, 327 foreign and domestic relations, 328 legislative annals, 329 political essays and speeches. Equals 330 political economy, equals 331 capital and labor, 332 banks and money, 333 stocks, rents and income, 334 credit and interest, 335 communism, 336 public funds and taxation, 337 protection and free trade, 338 production, 339 pauperism. Equals 340 law, equals 341 international, 342 constitutional and administrative, 343 statute and common, 344 equity, 345 criminal, 346 maritime, 347 martial, 348 civil and canon, 349 evidence and forms of practice. Equals 350 administration, equals 351 civil service, 352 treasury, 353 interior, 354 police, 355 army, 356 infantry, 357 cavalry, 358 artillery, 359 navy. Equals 360 associations and institutions, equals 361 charitable, 362 religious, 363 political, 364 reformatory and sanitary, 365 prisons, 366 secret societies, 367 trades unions, 368 insurance, 369 other. Equals 370 education, equals 371 teachers, methods, and discipline, 372 elementary, 373 higher, 374 self-education, 375 classical and real, 376 female, 377 religious and secular, 378 schools and colleges, 379 reports. Equals 380 commerce, communication, equals 381 domestic trade, 382 foreign trade, 383 post office, 384 telegraph, 385 railroad and express, 386 canal transportation, 387 river and ocean transportation, 388 city transit, 389 weights and measures. Equals 390 customs and costumes, 391 ancient, 392 medieval, 393 modern, 394 Europe, 395 Asia, 396 Africa, 397 North America, 398 South America, 399 Oceanica. Philology. Equals 400 philology, equals 401 philosophy, 402 compends, 403 dictionaries, 404 essays, 405 periodicals, 406 societies, 407 education, 408 universal language, 409 history. Equals 410 comparative, equals 411 orthography, 412 etymology, 413 dictionaries, 414 phonology, 415 grammar, 416 prosody, 417 inscriptions, 418 texts, 419 hieroglyphics. Equals 420 English, equals 421 orthography, 422 etymology, 423 dictionaries, 424 synonyms, 425 grammar, 426 prosody, 427 dialects, 428 texts, 429 Anglo-Saxon. Equals 430 German, equals 431 orthography, 432 etymology, 433 dictionaries, 434 synonyms, 435 grammar, 436 prosody, 437 dialects, 438 texts, 439 Dutch and Low German. Equals 440 French, equals 441 orthography, 442 etymology, 443 dictionaries, 444 synonyms, 445 grammar, 446 prosody, 447 dialects, 448 texts, 449 Old French, Provençal. Equals 450 Italian, equals 451 orthography, 452 etymology, 453 dictionaries, 454 synonyms, 455 grammar, 456 prosody, 457 dialects, 458 texts, 459 Romansh and Wallachian. Equals 460 Spanish, equals 461 orthography, 462 etymology, 463 dictionaries, 464 synonyms, 465 grammar, 466 prosody, 467 dialects, 468 texts, 469 Portuguese. Equals 470 Latin, equals 471 orthography, 472 etymology, 473 dictionaries, 474 synonyms, 475 grammar, 476 prosody, 477 dialects, 478 texts, 479 medieval Latin. Equals 480 Greek, equals 481 orthography, 482 etymology, 483 dictionaries, 484 synonyms, 485 grammar, 486 prosody, 487 dialects, 488 texts, 489 modern Greek. Equals 490 other languages, equals 491 Chinese, 492 Egyptian, 493 Semitic, 494 Indian, 495 Iranian, 496 Celtic, 497 Slavic, 498 Scandinavian, 499 other. Natural science. Equals 500 natural science, equals 501 philosophy, 502 compends, 503 dictionaries, 504 essays, 505 periodicals, 506 societies, 507 education, 508 travels, 509 history. Equals 5L0 mathematics, equals 511 arithmetic, 512 algebra, 513 geometry, 514 trigonometry, 515 conic sections, 516 analytical geometry, 517 calculus, 518 quaternions, 519 probabilities. Equals 520 astronomy, equals 521 theoretical, 522 practical, 523 descriptive, 524 maps, 525 observations, 526 figure of the earth, 527 navigation, 528 almanacs, 529 chronology. Equals 530 physics, equals 531 mechanics, 532 hydrostatics, 533 pneumatics, 534 acoustics, 535 optics, 536 heat, 537 electricity, 538 magnetism, 539 molecular physics, equals 540 chemistry, equals 541 theoretical, 542 experimental, 543 analysis, 544 qualitative, 545 quantitative, 546 inorganic, 547 organic, 548 crystallography, 549 mineralogy, equals 550 geology, equals 551 physical geography, meteorology, 552 lithology, 553 dynamical geology, 554 Europe, 555 Asia, 556 Africa, 557 North America, 558 South America, 559 Oceanica, equals 560 paleontology, equals 561 plants, 562 invertebrates, 563 protozoa and radiates, 564 mollusca, 565 articulates, 566 vertebrates, 567 fishes, 568 reptiles and birds, 569 mammals, equals 570 biology, equals 571 prehistoric archaeology, 572 ethnology, 573 natural history of man, 574 homologies, 575 evolution, 576 embryology, 577 spontaneous generation, 578 microscopy, 579 collector's manuals, equals 580 botany, equals 581 physiological, 582 systematic, 583 ornamental, 584 Europe, 585 Asia, 586 Africa, 587 North America, 588 South America, 589 Oceanica, equals 590 zoology, equals 591 comparative anatomy, 592 invertebrates, 593 protozoa and radiates, 594 mollusca, 595 articulates, 596 vertebrates, 597 fishes, 598 reptiles and birds, 599 mammals. Useful arts equals 600 useful arts, equals 601 philosophy, 602 compends, 603 dictionaries, 604 essays, 605 periodicals, 606 societies, 607 education, 608 patents, 609 history, equals 610 medicine, equals 611 anatomy, 612 physiology, 613 hygiene, 614 public health, 615 materia medica and therapeutics, 616 pathology, theory and practice, 617 surgery and dentistry, 618 obstetrics and sexual science, 619 veterinary medicine, equals 620 engineering, equals 621 mechanical, 622 topographical, 623 military, 624 bridge, 625 road and railroad, 626 canal, 627 harbor, 628 hydraulic and mining, 629 instruments and field books, equals 630 agriculture, equals 631 soil and preparation, 632 pests and hindrances, 633 productions of the soil, 634 fruits, 635 garden, 636 domestic animals, 637 dairy, 638 bees and silkworm, 639 fishing, trapping, equals 640 domestic economy, equals 641 cookery, 642 confectionery, 643 food and dining, 644 fuel and lights, 645 furniture, 646 clothing and toilet, 647 servants, 648 laundry, 649 nursery and sickroom, equals 650 communication, commerce, equals 651 writing, 652 penmanship, 653 shorthand, 654 telegraphy, 655 printing, 656 navigation and transportation, 657 bookkeeping, 658 business manuals, 659 other. Equals 660 chemical technology, equals 661 chemicals, 662 pyrotechnics, 663 wines, liquors, and ales, 664 sugar, salt, starch, etc., 665 gas, 666 glass, 667 dyeing and bleaching, 668 assaying, 669 metallurgy. Equals 670 manufactures, equals 671 metals, 672 iron, 673 marble, stone, and brick, 674 wood, 675 leather and rubber, 676 paper, 677 textile fabrics, 678 cotton, 679 other. Equals 680 mechanic trades, equals 681 watch and instrument making, 682 blacksmithing, 683 lock and gun making, 684 carriage and cabinet making, 685 saddlery and shoemaking, 686 bookbinding, 687 clothes making, 688 689 other. Equals 690 building, equals 691 materials, 692 plans and specifications, 693 masonry, 694 carpentry, 695 slating and tiling, 696 plumbing, 697 warming and ventilation, 698 painting, glazing, and paper hanging, 699 car and shipbuilding. Fine arts equals 700 fine arts, equals 701 philosophy, 702 compends, 703 dictionaries, 704 essays, 705 periodicals, 706 societies, 707 education, 708 galleries, 709 history. Equals 710 landscape gardening, equals 711 parks, 712 private grounds, 713 walks and drives, 714 water, 715 trees and hedges, 716 plants and flowers, 717 arbors, 718 monuments, 719 cemeteries. Equals 720 architecture, equals 721 architectural construction, 722 ancient and oriental, 723 medieval, 724 modern, 725 public buildings, 726 church, 727 school, 728 domestic and rural, 729 of special countries. Equals 730 sculpture, equals 731 materials and methods, 732 ancient, 733 Greek and Roman, 734 medieval, 735 modern, 736 carving, 737 numismatics, 738 pottery and bronzes, 739 collections. Equals 740 drawing and design, equals 741 freehand, 742 perspective, 743 art anatomy, 744 mathematical drawing, 745 ornamental design, 746 ancient, 747 medieval, 748 modern, 749 collections. Equals 750 painting, equals 751 materials and methods, 752 color, 753 Flemish and Dutch schools, 754 French, 755 Italian, 756 other schools, 757 portrait, 758 landscape, 759 collections. Equals 760 engraving, equals 761 wood, 762 steel and copper, 763 lithography, 764 chromolithography, 765 line and stipple, 766 mezzotint and aquatint, 767 etching, 768 bank note and machine, 769 collections. Equals 770 photography, equals 771 materials, 772 ambrotype and daguerreotype, 773 photograph, 774 heliotype, albertype, etc. 775 photolithography, 776 stereoscopic, 777 portrait, 778 landscape, 779 collections, equals 780 music, equals 781 theory, 782 dramatic, 783 church, 784 vocal, 785 instrumental, 786 piano and organ, 787 stringed instruments, 788 wind instruments, 789 associations and institutions, equals 790 amusements, equals 791 entertainments, 792 theater, 793 indoor amusements, 794 chess, 795 other games, 796 outdoor sports, 797 boating and ball, 798 horsemanship and racing, 799 fishing, hunting, shooting. Literature equals 800 literature, equals 801 philosophy, 802 compends, 803 dictionaries, 804 essays, 805 periodicals, 806 societies, 807 808 809 history, equals 810 treatises and collections, equals 811 poetry, 812 drama, 813 romance, 814 essays, 815 rhetoric and oratory, 816 letters, 817 satire, 818 humor, 819 miscellany, equals 820 English literature, equals 821 English poetry, 822 English drama, 823 English romance, 824 English essays, 825 English oratory, 826 English letters, 827 English satire, 828 English humor, 829 English miscellany, equals 830 German literature, equals 831 German poetry, 832 German drama, 833 German romance, 834 German essays, 835 German oratory, 836 German letters, 837 German satire, 838 German humor, 839 German miscellany, equals 840 French literature, equals 841 French poetry, 842 French drama, 843 French romance, 844 French essays, 845 French oratory, 846 French letters, 847 French satire, 848 French humor, 849 French miscellany, equals 850 Italian literature, equals 851 Italian poetry, 852 Italian drama, 853 Italian romance, 854 Italian essays, 855 Italian oratory, 856 Italian letters, 857 Italian satire, 858 Italian humor, 859 Italian miscellany, equals 860 Spanish literature, equals 861 Spanish poetry, 862 Spanish drama, 863 Spanish romance, 864 Spanish essays, 865 Spanish oratory, 866 Spanish letters, 867 Spanish satire, 868 Spanish humor, 869 Spanish miscellany, equals 870 Latin literature, equals 871 Latin poetry, 872 dramatic, 873 epic, 874 lyric, 875 Latin oratory, 876 Latin letters, 877 Latin satire, 878 Latin philosophy, 879 Latin history, equals 880 Greek literature, equals 881 Greek poetry, 882 dramatic, 883 epic, 884 lyric, 885 Greek oratory, 886 Greek letters, 887 Greek humor, 888 Greek philosophy, 889 Greek history, equals 890 other languages, equals 891 Chinese, 892 Egyptian, 893 Semitic, 894 Indian, 895 Iranian, 896 Celtic, 897 Slavic, 898 Scandinavian, 899 other. History equals 900 history equals 901 philosophy, 902 compends chronology, 903 dictionaries, 904 essays, 905 periodicals, 906 societies, 907 education, 908 charts, 909 universal histories. Equals 910 geography and description, equals 911 historical, 912 ancient, 913 modern, 914 Europe, 915 Asia, 916 Africa, 917 North America, 918 South America, 919 Oceanica and polar regions. Equals 920 biography, equals 921 of philosophy, 922 of theology, 923 of sociology, 924 of philology, 925 of science, 926 of useful arts, 927 of fine arts, 928 of literature, 929 genealogy and heraldry. Equals 930 ancient history, equals 931 Chinese, 932 Egyptian, 933 Jewish, 934 Indian, 935 Persian, 936 Celtic, 937 Roman, 938 Greek, 939 other. Equals 940 Europe, equals 941 Scotland and Ireland, 942 England, 943 Germany and Austria, 944 France, 945 Italy, 946 Spain and Portugal, 947 Russia, 948 Scandinavia, 949 other. Equals 950 Asia, equals 951 China, 952 Japan, 953 Arabia, 954 India, 955 Persia, 956 Turkey and Asia, 957 Siberia, 958 Afghanistan, 959 other. Equals 960 Africa, equals 96 North Africa, 962 Egypt and Nubia, 963 Abyssinia, 964 Morocco, 965 Algeria, 966 Central Africa, 967 Guinea, 968 South Africa, 969 other. Equals 970 North America, equals 971 British America, 972 Canada, 973 United States and Territories, 974 Eastern, 975 Middle, 976 Southern, 977 Western, 978 Mexico, 979 other. Equals 980 South America, equals 981 Brazil, 982 Argentine Republic, 983 Chile, 984 Bolivia, 985 Peru, 986 New Granada, 987 Venezuela, 988 Guyana, 989 other. Equals 990 Oceanica and polar regions, equals 991 Malaysia, 992 Sunda, 993 Australasia, 994 Australia, 995 New Guinea, 996 Polynesia, 997 isolated islands, 998 Arctic regions, 999 Antarctic regions. Subject index. Find the subject in this alphabetical index. The number following it is its class number. The entire resources of the library on this subject will be found under this number either in the subject catalog, the shelf catalog, or on the shelves. Where a class number ends in a cipher, the subject will be found, on reference to the prefixed classification, to be subdivided. Abolition 326 Aborigines North America 970 Abortion 618 Abyssinia 963 Abyssinia Language 493 Academies 378 Academies of Science 506 Accounts 657 Acoustics 534 acrostics 819, 829, 839. Etc. Acts and resolves 328 Acts of the Apostles 226, addresses 815, 825, 835. Etc. Administration 350, Administrative Law 342, Admiralty Law 346, Adultery 176, 345 Advent. Second 236 Aeronautics, 533 Aesthetics, 701 Ethiopia, 966 Afghanistan, 958 Africa Botany, 586 Customs and Costumes, 396 Description, 916 Ecclesiastical History, 276 Geography, 916 Geology, 556 History, 960 Statistics, 316 Travels, 916 Agricultural Chemistry, 631 Agriculture, 630 Air, 533 Alabama, 976 Alaska, 977 Albania, 949 Albertypes, 774 Albigenses, 272 944 Alchemy, 540 Alcoholic Liquors, 178 615 663 Ales, 663 Algae, 582 Algebra, 512 Algeria, 965 Aliens, 343 Allegories, 819 829 839. Etc. Almanacs, 528 Almanacs Statistical, 313 Alphabets, 411 421 431. Etc. Alphabets Ornamental, 745-748 Ambassadors, 340 1 Ambertype, 772 America North, 970 Botany, 587 Customs and Costumes, 397 Description, 917 Ecclesiastical History, 277 Geography, 917 Geology, 557 History, 970 Statistics, 317 Travels, 917 America South, 980 Botany, 588 Customs and Costumes, 398 Description, 918 Ecclesiastical History, 278 Geography, 918 Geology, 558 History, 980 Statistics, 318 Travels, 918 American Languages, 499 American Painting, 756 American Philosophy, 191 American Revolution, 973 Americanisms, 427 Amherst College, 378 Amputation, 617 Amusements, 175 790 Anna, Anagrams, 819 829 839. Etc. Analysis, Chemical, 543 Analysis, Qualitative, 544 Analysis, Quantitative, 545 Analytical Geometry, 516 Anatomy, Art, 743 Anatomy, Comparative, 591 Anatomy, Human, 611 Ancient Architecture, 722 Ancient Customs, Costumes, 391 Ancient Design, 746 Ancient Geography, 912 Ancient History, 930 Ancient Philosophies, 180 Ancient Sculpture, 732 Anecdote, Religious, 249 Aneurism, 617 Angels, 235 Anglican Church, 283 Angling, 799 Anglo-Saxon History, 942 Anglo-Saxon Language, 429 Animal Magnetism, 134 Animal Kingdom, 590 Animals, Domestic, 636 Animalcula, 593 Annuities, 333 Anonyms, 14 Antarctic Regions, 999 Antarctic Regions, Travels, 919 Anthropology, 130 Anti-Masonry, 366 Antinomianism, 234 Antiquities. See subject or country. Aphorisms, 819, 829, 839, etc. Apocalypse, 228, Apocrypha, 229, Apologetics, 239, Apoplexy, 616, Apostles, 922, Apostolic Church, 274-276, Apostolic succession 262 apothegms 819, 829, 839. Etc. apparitions 133, apples 634 aquariums, 590 aquatant, 766 aqueducts, 628 Arabia. Ancient history 939 Arabia. Modern 953 Arabian language 493, Arabian philosophy 197, arboriculture 715 arbors, 717 archaeology. Prehistoric 571, archery 799 architects. Lives 927, architectural drawing 744 architecture 720 architecture. Naval 699, Arctic regions 998, Arctic regions, travels 919 Argentine, Republic 980, 2 Arianism 281. 232 Aristotelian philosophy 185, arithmetic 511, Arizona 977, Arkansas 976, Armenia 956 armies 355, Arminianism 287. 234 armor 355 art anatomy, 743 art biography, 927 art education, 707 art schools, 753-756 artesian wells, 628 articulates. Paleontology 565 articulates, zoology 595 artillery, 358 artists, lives 927 arts, fine 700 arts. Fine biography of 927 arts, useful 600 arts. Useful biography of 926 Ashanti 967, Ashanti geography, 916, Asia 950 botany, 585 customs and costumes, 395 ecclesiastical history, 275 geography, 915 geology, 555 history, 950 statistics, 315 travels 915, Asia Minor 956 assassination. 345 assault and battery 345, assaying 668, ascent 163 associations, 360 associations, musical 789, assurance 368, Assyria 935, Assyrian language 493, asthma 616, astrology 133, astronomical maps 524, astronomical observations 525, astronomy 520, atheism 211, athletic sports 796, atlases 910, atmosphere 533, atonement 234, aurora 537, 551, Australasia 993, Australia 994, Austria 943, authority 171, authors' lives 928, autobiography. See biography. Azores 946. Equals Babylon equals 935, backgammon 795, Baconian philosophy 192, ball playing 797, ballads. See poetry. Ballooning 533, banditti 345, 366, bank note engraving 768, bankrupt laws 343, banks 332, baptism 264, Baptists 286, Barbary States 961, barometer 533. 551, bas reliefs 730, 1 baseball 797, Basque language 499, Basque provinces 946, baths 613, Bavaria 943, beauty 701, beer 663, bees 638, beetles 595, beets 630, 5 beets, sugar 664, Belgium 949, bells, letters 800, bell ringing 785, bells 671, Bermudas 971, Bible 220, Bible dictionaries, etc. 220, Bible in schools 377, Bible societies 362, bibliographies 11 bibliographies, special countries 15 special forms, 12 special subjects, 16 bibliography, 10 billiards, 795 biography, 920 biology, 570 birds, 598 birds, paleontology, 568 births, 312, blacksmithing 680, 2 bleaching. 667, blindness 616 block books, 22 blowpipe 540, 3 blue laws 343 boating, 797 boats 797. 699, Baccara 959, Bolivia 984 bonds and stocks, 333 bones, 611 books 10, 20 book binding 10, 25. 686 book collecting 10 book keeping, 657 book rarities 20 booksellers catalog 17. 18 bootmaking 685. 675 botany 580, botany fossil 561, botany medical 615, Brahmanism 294 brandy 615. 663 Brazil 981 breweries 244 brewing 663. Bricks 673. Bridge building 624 brigands 345. 366. British America 971. British Columbia 972. British India 954. British Museum 369. Britain's 942. 940, 1 bronchitis 616 bronzes, 738 buccaneers 345. 366, Buddhism 294, Buenos Aires 982, building 690 burial 390. 614. 719, Burma 954 business ethics, 174 business manuals, 658 butter 637, butterflies 595, Byzantine Empire 949. Equals cabinet equals making 684 Calabria 940, 5 calculators 511, calculus 517, Caledonia 940, 1 California 977, calisthenics 613, caloric 536, Calvinism 230, 4 cambists 332, Cambria 942, cameos 736, Canada 972, canal engineering. 626, canal transit 386, Canary Isles 946, cancer 616, canon law 348, capital, and labor 330, 1 capital punishment, 345, car building, 699, card playing 795, Caribbee Islands, 989, caricatures, 741, carpentry, 694, carriage, making 684, Carthage. 939, carving 643, carving and chasing 736, Kashmir 954, castle 946, cast 730, casuistry, 171, catalogs authors 18 catalogs books, 12-18 catalogs libraries, 12-18 catalog subjects, 17 Qatar 616 catechisms, 241 cathedrals 726 Catholic Church. 282 cattle 636, Caucasus 324 cavalry, 357 caves, 551 celibacy, 136. 176 Celtic language 496, Celtic literature, 896 Celts, 936 cements, 693 cemeteries, 719 censuses, 310, Central Africa 966, Central America 979, ceramic art 673. 738 Cetacea, 599 Ceylon 954, Chaldee language 493, chances 519, charades 795, charitable associations 361 charts. History 908 chasing 736 checkers, 795 cheese, 637 chemical agriculture, 631 chemical analysis, 543 chemical technology, 660 chemicals manufacture, 661 chemistry, 540 chess, 794 childbirth, 618 Chile, 983 chimneys, 693 China. Ancient 931 China, modern 951 Chinese language 491, Chinese literature 891, Chinese religion 299, chivalry 322, chloroform 615, 617. 618 Cholera 616 Christ 232 Christian Doctrines 230 Christian Fathers 270 Christian Institutions 260 Christian Sects 280 Christianity Evidences 239 Christianity History 270-289 Christmas Customs 390 Christology 232 Chromolithography 764 Chronologies 902 Chronology 529 Church 261 Church Architecture 726 Church of England 283 Church Fathers 270 Church History 270-289 Church Music 783 Church Polity 262 Church of Rome 282 Church and State 261 172 329 Circassia 947 Circumnavigations 910 Citizenship 342 City Transit 388 Civil Engineering 620 Civil Law 348 Civil Service Organs 351 Civil Service Regulations 351 Civilization Progress 313 Clairvoyance 134 Classical Education 375 Classics Greek 488 880 Classics Latin 478 870 Classification 112 Clergy Lives of 922 Climatology 551 536 Clinics 610 Clockmaking 681 Clothesmaking 687 Clothing 646 Clubs 369 Coal 549 644 Coast Survey 622 Coats of Arms 929 Cochin China 951 Coeducation 376 Coffee 641 633 Coinage 332 Coins 737 Coleoptera 595 Collections Art 708 Drawing and Design 749 Engraving 769 Painting 759 Photography 779 Sculpture 739 Collectors' Manuals 579 Colleges 378 Collieries 628 Columbia Essay 986 Colonies 325 Color 535 Colors Painting 752 Coloring 667 Comedy see Drama Comets 523 Comic Works see Humor Commemorative Sermons 259 Commentaries Bible 220 Commentaries Law 340 Commerce 380 Commercial Law 343 Common Law 343 Common Schools 372 Communication 380 650 Communion 265 Communism 335 Comparative Anatomy 591 Comparative Mythology 291 Comparative Philology 410 Compass 629 538 527 Compends Fine Arts 702 History 902 Literature 802 Natural Science 502 Philology 402 Philosophy 102 Science 502 Sociology 302 Theology 202 Useful Arts 602 Composition 815 Composition of Music 780 1 Kant's Philosophy 194 145 Conchology 594 Concordances of Bible 220 Confectionery 642 Confessional 282 Congregationalism 285 Conic Sections 515 Connecticut 974 Conscience 170 233 Conservatories of Music 789 Constitution English 323 Constitution United States 324 Constitutional Law 342 Construction Architectural 721 Consuls 327 Consumption 616 Contagion 614 Contracts 343 Convents 362 271 Conversation 177 Cookery 641 Cooperation 331 Copper 671 549 Copper Engraving 762 Coptic Language 492 Copyright 343 Corals 593 Korea 959 Corn, Laws 347. 343 Cornices, 721 Coroners, 343 Corporal Punishment, 371 Corporations, 360 Correction. Houses of 364 Correlation of Forces, 530 Correspondence, 816 Corsica 940, 4 Cosmetics, 646 Cosmogony, 113 Cosmology, 113 Cossacks, 947 Costa Rica, 979 Costumes, 390 Cottages, 728 Cotton Manufactures, 678 Cotton Planting, 633 Cotton Trade. 381, 382 Councils, 262, 270 Courts Martial, 347 Cousins Philosophy, 194 Covenanters, 274, 941 Cows, 636, 637 Cranberries, 634 Crayoning, 741 Creation, 213 Credit, 330 4 Creeds, 244, 280 Cremation, 614, 390 Crete, 949, Cricket, 796, Crimea, 940, 7 Crimes and Punishments, 345, Criminal Law, 345, Critical Psychology, 142, Criticism Literary. See Essays. Crocheting, 793, Croquet, 796, Croup, 616, Crusades, 274, 940 Crustacea, 595, Cryptogamia, 582, Crystallography, 548 Cuba, 979 Currency, 332 Curvilinear Motion, 531 Customs and Duties, 337 Customs and Manners, 390 Cyclopedias. General 30. Daguerreotype equals 772, Dairy 637 Dancing, 793, Danish 498 Darwinism, 575 Deaf and Dumb Institutions, 361 Deafness, 616, Death 612, Death and Resurrection 236, Death Penalty 345 Debates 815 Decimal System, 511 Decimal Weights and Measures. 389 Decorative Art 745-748, Deductive Logic 162, Deism 211, Delaware 975 Delusions 133 Democracy, 324 Demonology 133, Denmark 948 Denominations. Christian 280 Dentistry, 617 Depravity 233, 216 Derangement. Mental 132, Descartes' Philosophy, 194 Descriptive Astronomy, 523 Descriptive Geometry, 744 Design and Drawing, 740 Design Ornamental, 745 -8 Despotism, 321 Detectives, 354 Deuteronomy, 222 Development Theory, 575 Devil, 235 Devotional Theology, 242. 551 Dialectics, 160 Dialects English, 427 French, 447 German, 437 Greek, 487 Italian, 457 Latin, 477 Spanish, 467 Diamonds, 552 Dictionaries, Comparative, 413 English, 423 Fine Art, 703 French, 443 German, 433 Greek, 483 History, 903 Italian, 453 Latin, 473 Literature, 803 Natural Science, 503 Philology, 403 Philosophy, 103 Science, 503 Sociology, 303 Spanish, 463 Theology, 203 Useful Arts, 603 Didactic Theology, 241 Die Making, 736 Diet, 613 Differential Calculus, 517 Digestion, 612 Digests, 343 Dining, 643 Diphtheria, 616 Diplomacy, 327 341 Diplomatics, 10 21 Directories, 910 Discipline. Education, 371 Diseases, 616 Disinfection, 614 Dispensatories, 615 Dissection, 611 Dissenters, 289 283 Distillation, 663 District of Columbia, 976, Divorce 343. L73 Doctrinal History, 273 Doctrinal Sermons, 253 Doctrinal Theology, 230 Dogs, 599. 636 Domestic Animals, 636 Domestic Architecture, 728 Domestic Economy, 640 Domestic and Foreign Relations, 327 Domestic Medicine, 615 Domestic Trade, 380, 1 Domestic Worship, 248 Dominoes, 795 Drainage, 631. 614 Drama, General Treatises, 812 Drama. English 822 Drama, French 842 Drama, German 832 Drama, Greek 882 Drama, Italian 852 Drama, Latin 872 Drama. Spanish 862, Dramatic Amusements 792, Dramatic Music, 782 Drafts 795, Drawing 740 Drawing Book 740, 1 Dreams 135 Dress, 646 Dressmaking 646 Drives 713, Driving 798 Drugs, 615 Druids 299, Dueling 177. 345. 392, Dutch Language 439, Dutch Painting 753, Dutch Reformed Church 289, Dutch Republic 949 Duties 170 Duties and Customs 337 Dyeing 667 Dynamical Electricity 537 Dynamical Geology 553 Dynamics 530 1 Dysentery 616 Dyspepsia 616 Ear Diseases 616 Early Greek Philosophy 182 Earth 551 Earth Figure of 526 Earthquakes 553 East Indies 954 Easter 244 Eastern Church 280 1 Eastern States 974 Ecclesiastical History 270 Ecclesiastical Polity 262 Echinoderms 593 Eclectic Medicine 616 Eclectic Psychology 148 Eclipses 523 Economy Domestic 640 Economy Political 330 Ecuador 989 Education 370 Education Fine Arts 707 Education History 907 Education Natural Sciences 507 Education Philology 407 Education Philosophy 107 Education Science 507 Education Theology 207 Education Useful Arts 607 Educational Institutions 378 Educational Reports 379 Egypt Ancient 932 Egypt Modern 962 Egyptian Language 492 Egyptian Literature 892 Election Sermons 256 Elections 324 Electricity 537 Electromagnetism 538 Eleemosynary Institutions 361 Elementary Education 372 Elgin Marbles 733 Elocution 815 Emancipation 326 390 Embargo 346 341 Emblems 219 Embryology 576 Emigration 325 Empirical Psychology 144 Enamel Painting 751 Encaustic Painting 751 Encyclopedias General 30 Engineering 620 Engineering Instruments 629 England History 942 English Church 283 English Dialects 427 English Dictionaries 423 English Etymology 422 English Government 323 English Grammar 425 English Language 420 English Literature 820 English Orthography 421 English Painting 756 English Philology 420 English Philosophy 192 English Prosody 426 English Sculpture 735 English Synonyms 424 English Texts 428 Engraving 760 Enigmas 819 829 839 etc. Entertainments, 791 Enthusiasm, 137 Entomology, 595 Entozoa, 595 Epics, 811, 821, 831, etc. Epics, Greek, 883 Epics, Latin, 873, Epicurean philosophy, 187 Epidemics, 614 Epigrams, 819, 829, 839, etc. Episcopal Church, 283 Epistles, Bible, 227, Epistolography, 816, 826, etc. Epitaphs, 929, Ecuador, 989, Equestrian Exercise, 798 Equipments of Armies, 355 Equipments of Navies, 359 Equity, 344 Eschatology, 236 Esquimaux, 979. 998 essays, English literature 824 essays, fine arts 704 essays, French 844 essays, general treatises 814 essays, German 834 essays, history 904 essays, Italian 854 essays, literature 804 essays, natural science 504 essays, philology 404 essays, philosophy 104 essays, political 329 essays. Science 504 essays, Sociology 304 essays, Spanish 864 essays, Theology 204 essays, Useful Arts 604 Etching 767, Etherization 617 Ethics 170 Ethiopia 966 Ethnography 390 Ethnology 572 Etiquette 177 Etruria 937 Etymologies. Comparative 412 etymologies, English 422 etymologies, French 442 etymologies, German 432 etymologies, Greek 482 etymologies, Italian 452 etymologies, Latin 472 etymologies, Spanish 462, Eucharist 265 eulogies 920. 259 Europe Botany, 584 Customs and Costumes, 394 Ecclesiastical History, 274 Geography, 914 Geology, 554 History, 940 Statistics, 314 Travels, 914 Evidence. Law, 349 Evidences of Christianity, 239 Evil, 216 Evolution, 575 Exchange. 332 Excise, 336 Exegesis, 220 Exhibitions. Art 708 Exodus 222 Experimental Chemistry 542 Explorations 910 Expository Sermons 258 Express Companies 385 I Diseases 616 I Functions 612 Fables 819 829 839 etc. Facie 819 829 839 etc. Fairy Tales 813, 823, 833, etc. Faith 234. 163, Family 173, Family Medicines 616, Family Worship 247, Fanaticism 133, Farces 828, 838, etc. 791, Farming 630, Farriery 682, Fashion 177, Fasts 244, Fatalism 159, Fathers of the Church 270, Fauna 590, Feasts 244, Federalism 324, Female Education 376, Female Seminaries 378, Fencing 796, Ferns 582, Fetichism 299, Feudal Institutions 322, Fevers 616, Fiction, see Romance. Field Books, Engineering 629, Field Sports 796, 799, Figure of the Earth 526, Filibusters 363, 345. 978, Final, Causes 113, Finances 330, Fine Arts 700, Biography of 927, Finland 947, Finno-Hungarian Language 499, Firearms 355. 683, fire departments 369, fire engines 621, fire insurance 368, fireworks 662, fishes 597, fishes paleontology 567, fisheries 639, fishing 799, flags 929, Flanders 949, flax 633. 677, Flemish painting 753, flies 595, flora 580, 4-589, Florence 945, Florida 976, flower garden 716. 583, flowers 580, fluxions 517, folklore 291-293, food 643, foreign missions 267, foreign relations 327, foreign trade 382, forgery 340, 5 form book 349, fortification 623, fortune-telling 133, fossils 560, foundries 671, foundling hospitals 361, fountains 714, fouling 799, fowls 636, fractures 617, France 944, franchise 324, Franciscans 271, Franconia 943, Franco-Prussian War 943. 944, freehand drawing 740, 1 Freemasonry 366, free trade 337, free will 159, French language 440, French language Old 449, French literature 840, French painting 754, French philosophy 194, French Revolution 944, French sculpture 735, fresco painting 751, friction 531, friends, society of 289, friendship 157, fruit culture 634, fuel 644, funds and funding 336, funeral sermons 259, funerals 390, furniture 645, future life 218, future state 237. Equals galleries equals of art 708, drawing and design 749, engraving 769, painting 759, photography 779, sculpture, etc. 739, galvanism 537, gambling 175, game, laws 345, games 793, -7, gardening 635, gardening landscape 710, gas fitting 696, gas lighting 665, 644, gas making 665, gastronomy 640, 1, gauging 389, gazetteers 910, gem, engraving 736, gems 549, genealogy 929, generation, spontaneous 577, Genesis 222, Genoa 945, geodesy 526, geography 910, geography, Africa 916, geography, ancient 912, geography, Asia 915, geography, Europe 914, geography, historical 911, geography, modern 913, geography, and America 917, geography, physical 551, geography s. America 918, geography, travels 910, geology 550, geology, dynamical 553, geometry 513, geometry, analytical 516, Georgia 959. 976, German language 430, German language, low 439, German literature 830, German painting 753, German philosophy 193, German Reformed Church 289, Germany 940, 3 ghosts 133, gypsies 949, girondists 363. 944, glaciers 553, glass 666, glass painting 751, glazing 698, glaze 784, globes. Use of 522, glossaries 413, 423, 433, etc. gloves 646, 675. 677, Gnostics 280, 1 God 230, 1 Gold 549. 671 Goniometry 514, Good Friday 240, 4 Gospels 226, Gothic architecture 723 Goths 943 Gout 616 Government 320 Grace 230, 4 Grafting 630 4 Grains 633 Grammars. Comparative 415 grammars, English 425 grammars, French 445 grammars, German 435 grammars, Greek 485 grammars, Italian 455 grammars, Latin 475 grammars. Spanish 465, Granada 946 Granges, 363, Grape culture 634 Grasses, 633 Grasses ornamental 716. 583 gravestones, 718 graveyards, 719 gravitation, 531 Great Britain 941, 942 Greece, ancient 938 Greece. Modern 949 Greek architecture, 722, Greek church 280, 1 Greek commentaries 480, 8 Greek language 480, Greek literature 880, Greek modern 489 Greek mythology 292, Greek philosophy 180. 888 Greek sculpture, 733 Greek texts, with notes 488 Greek texts, without notes 880 Greek translations, 880 greenhouses, 583. 635 Greenland 998 grounds. Private 712, Groves 715, Guatemala 979, Guyana 980, 8 Guide books 910, Guillotine 340, 5 Guinea 967, Gun cotton 355. 662 Gunnery 355, Gunpowder 355. 662 Gunsmithery 683 Gutta, Percha 679, Gymnastics 613 Gypsies 949. Equals habeas equals corpus 343 Hamiltonian philosophy 192 Harbors 627 Harmony. Music 780, 1 Harmony of Gospels 226, Harness making 680, 5 Harpsichord 787, Hashish 615, Hats 640, 6 Health 613 Health, Public 614 Heart diseases, 616 Heat 536, Heathen religions 290 Heating, 697 Heaven 237, Hebrew history 933 Hebrew. Language 493, Hedges 715 Hegelian philosophy, 193 Heliotypes, 774 Hell 237, Heraclitic philosophy, 182 Heraldry 929 Herbariums, 582 Hermaphrodites 590. 612 Hermeneutics 220 Herpetology, 598 Hieroglyphics, 419 Higher Education, 373 Highwaymen, 345 Histology, 611 Historical Books of Bible 222 Historical Charts and Tables, 908 Historical Geography, 911 Historical Societies, 906 History 900 Ancient. 930-939 Biography of 928, Ecclesiastical 270 Fine Arts, 709 Geography, 910, in Greek 889, in Latin 879, Literature 809, Modern 940-999, Natural Sciences, 509 Philology, 409 Philosophy, 109 Philosophy of 901 Science, 509 Sociology. 309 Theology 209, Universal 909, Useful Arts 609, Histrionics 792, Holy Land 933. 956 Home Education 371. 374 Home Missions 266, Homicide 345, Homiletics 251, Homeopathy 615 Homologies 574 Honey 638 Horse 636, 599, 357. 619 Horse Racing 798, horse riding 798, horseshoeing 682, horsemanship 798, hortatory theology 243, horticulture 630, 5 hospitals 361, hotels 390, hothouses 583. 635, housekeeping 640, housewifery 640, Huguenots 289. 944, human anatomy 611, humane societies 361, humor 818, English 820, 8 French 840, 8 German 830, 8 Greek 887, Italian 858, Spanish 868, hunting 799, hurricanes 530, 3 husbandry 630, hybridism 590, hydraulic engineering 628, hydraulics 532, hydrodynamics 532, hydrography 551, 627, 527, hydromechanics 532, hydropathy 615, hydrophobia 614. 616, hydrostatics 530, 2 hygiene 613, hygiene mental 130, 1 hymnology 245, hypochondria 132. 616. Equals icebergs equals 553, Iceland 948, Icelandic language 498, ichnology 560, ichthyology 597, iconography 730, idealistic psychology 141, idiocy 132, idolatry 290, illumination 745, imagination 156, immersion 264. 286, immigration 325, immortality 218. 237, imprisonment for debt 345, incarnation 232, income 333, incunabula 23, India. Ancient history 934, India. Modern history 954, Indian language 494, Indian literature 894, Indiana 977, Indians. American 970, Indians. American language 499, India rubber 675, indoor amusements 793, induction 161. Inductive logic 161, industrial drawing 744, industrial schools 607, inebriate institutions 364, infanticide 173. 345, infantry 356, infidelity 211, inoculation 614. 615, inorganic chemistry 546, inquisition 272, insane hospitals 361, insanity 132, inscriptions 417, insects 595, inspiration 238, instincts 158, Institute of France 64, institutions 360, institutions educational 378, institutions feudal 322, institutions monarchic 323, institutions musical 789, institutions of religion 260, institutions patriarchal 321, institutions republican 324, instruction 371, instrumental music 785, instruments engineering 629, instruments making 680, 1 insurance companies 368, integral calculus 517, intellect 151, intellectual philosophy 140-150, intemperance 178, intercommunication 380. 650, interest 334, interest tables 658, interior administration 353, intermarriage 136. 618, intermediate state 237, interments 614. 390, international exhibitions 600, international law 340, 1 intolerance 272, intuitive psychology 143, inventions 608, invertebrates 592, invertebrates paleontology 562, Ionian Islands 949, Ionic philosophy 182, Iowa 977, Iranian languages 495, Iranian literature 895, Ireland 940, 1 Irish church 283 Irish language 496 iron. Bridges 624 iron. Manufacture 672 iron. Mineral 549. 669 Ironclad ships 359. 699 Irrigation 631 Italian language 450. Italian literature 850. Italian painting 755. Italian philosophy 195. Italian sculpture 734. 735 Italy 945. Jacobins equals 363. 944 Jamaica 979, Jansenism 282, Japan 952 Japanese language 499, Japanning 698, Java 992 Jests 819, 829, 839, etc. Jesuit missions 266, 282 Jesuits 271, 282 Jesus 232 Jewelry 646. 671 Jews, History 933, John 226, Joinery 694 Journalism 50 Judaism 296 Judgment, and Future State 237 Junius Letters 329, Jurisprudence 340 Jury 342, Justification 234. Kafirs equals 968 Kaleidoscope 536 Kansas 977 Kant's Philosophy 193 142 Celtic Ancient History 936 Celtic Language 496 Celtic Literature 896 Kentucky 976 Kindergarten 372 Kinematics 531 Kitchen 640 1 Knighthood 322 Quran 297 Labor equals 331 laboring classes 331 Labrador 972 Lace making 677 lakes Artificial 714 land Surveying 622 landlord and tenant 333 Landscape gardening 710 Landscape painting 758 Landscape photographs 778 Language 400 Lapland 947 948 Latin commentaries 488 Latin language 470 Latin literary history 470 Latin literature 870 Latin medieval 479 Latin texts with notes 488 Latin texts without notes 870 Latin translations 870 Laundry 640 8 Law 340 Law of Nations 341 Lawns 712 Lawyers' Lives 923 Lead 549 671 Leather 675 Lectures 815 825 835 etc. Legends 291-293 Legerdemain 133 Legislation 343 328 Legislative Annals 328 Legitimacy 343 Lent 244 Lepidoptera 595 Letter Writing 816 letters 816 letters English 826 French 846 German 836 Greek 886 Italian 856 Latin 876 Spanish 866 Levant 956 962 Leveling 622 Leviticus 222 Lexicons 413 423 433 etc. Libel 345 Liberty 324 Liberty of Press 324 Libraries 19 Library Catalogues 17 18 Library Economy 19 Library History and Reports 19 Lichens 582 Life Future 218 237 Life Insurance 368 Light 535 Lighthouses 656 627 Lightning 537 Lights and Fuel 644 Line Engraving 765 Linguistics 400 Liquors 663 Litany 244 Literary Criticism 824 834 844 etc. Miscellany 819 English 829 French 849 German 839 Italian 859 Spanish 869, Property 343, Literature 800, Literature. Biography of 928, Literature. Classical 870, 880, 488-498, Literature. Treatises 810, Lithography 763, Lithology 552, Liturgies 444, Locke 192, 145, Locks and Keys 683, Locomotives 621, Logarithms 514, Logarithms Tables 514, Logic 160, Longevity 312, Lords Supper 265, Lorraine 943, 944, Lotteries 175, Louisiana 976, Low Countries 949, Low Dutch 439, Luke 226, Lunacy 132, Lunatic Asylums 361, Lung Diseases 616, Lutherans 289, Lyric Poetry 811, 821, 831. Etc. Lyric Poetry, Greek 884, Lyric Poetry, Latin 874. Macaronics equals 819, 829. Etc. Machine, Engraving 768, Machinery 621, Madagascar 969, Madness 132, Magazines 50, 105, 205. Etc. Magic 133, Magnetism 538, Magnetism. Animal 134, Magyars 943, Mahometanism 297, Males 383, Maine 974, Malaria 614, Malayan language 499, Malaysia 991, Malt 663, Malta 949, Mamelukes 962, Mammalia 599, Mammalia. Paleontology 569, Man. Doctrine of 233, Man. Ethnography 390, Man. Natural history of 573, Maniacs 132, Manners and Customs 390, Manuals. Collectors 579, Manufactures 670, Manures 631, Manuscripts 13, 21, Maps 910, Maps. Astronomical 524, Marble Manufacture 673, Marbles 731, Marine Architecture 699, Marine Insurance 368, Marine Law 346, Marriage. Customs 390, Marriage. Ethics 173, Maritime Law 346, Mark 226, Martial Law 347, Martyrs 272, Maryland 976, Mason and Dixon's Line 326, Masonry 693, Masonry. Free 366, Massachusetts 974, Materia Medica 615, Materialist 146, Materials. Building 691, Maternity 136, 618, Mathematical Drawing 744, Mathematical Instruments 629, Mathematical Tables 514, Mathematics 510, Matthew 226, Mausoleums 718, Maxims 819, 829, 839. Etc. Measles 616, Measures and Weights 389, Mechanical Drawing 744, Mechanical Engineering 621, Mechanical Trades 680, Mechanics 531, Mechanics Associations 606, Metals 737, Medieval Architecture 723, Medieval Customs. Costumes 392, Medieval Design 747, Medieval History, with Modern Medieval Latin 479, Medieval Sculpture 734, Medical Botany 615, Medical Jurisprudence 343, Medicine 610, Medicine. Veterinary 619, Meditations. Theology 242, Melodians 786, Melody 781, Memoirs 920, Memory 154, Mensuration 612, Mental Derangement 132, Mental Faculties 150, Mental Hygiene 131, Mental Philosophy 140-150, Mental Physiology 131, Mesmerism 134, Messiah 232, Metal. Manufactures 671, Metallurgy 669, Metaphysics 110, Meteorology 551, Methodism 287, Methodology 112, Methods of Education 371, Metric System 389, Metrology 389, Mexican War 973. 978, Mexico 978, Mesotent 776, Michigan 977, Microscopy 578, Middle Ages, History, see Special Countries. Middle States 975, Midwifery 618, Military and Naval Arts 355-359, Engineering 623, Law 347, Science 355, Militia 355, Milk 637, Millennium 236, Millinery 646 mills. Cot, woolen, etc. 677. 678, Paper 676, Millwork 621, Mined 150, Mineral Waters 615, Mineralogy 549, Mines. Mining, Engineering 628, Miniatures 757, Ministers 250, Ministers, Lives 922, Minnesota 977, Minstrelsy 811, 821, 831, etc. Miracles 231, Miscellany. Literary 819, English 829, French 849, German 839, Italian 859, Spanish 869, Missions 266, Missions. Foreign 267, Mississippi 976, Missouri 977, Mnemonics 154, Modeling 731, Modern Architecture 724, Modern Costumes. Customs 393-399, Modern Designs 748, Modern Geography 9, L3-9 L9, Modern Greek 489, Modern History 940-999, Modern Philosophy 190, Modern Sculpture 735, Mohammedanism 297, Molecular Physics 539, Mollusca 594, Paleontology 564, Monarchic Institutions 323, Monasteries 271, Monastic Orders 271, Money 332, Mongolian Language 499, Monitors. Ironclads 359. 699, Monograms 745-748, Monopolies 330, 1 Montana 977, Monuments 718, Moon 523, Moral Philosophy 170, Moravians 289, Moravian Missions 266, Mora 949, Mortar 693, Mortality 312, Mortgages 343, Mormonism 298, Morocco 964, Morphology 580, 1 Mosaic Painting 751, Moslems 297, Mosquisha 979, Mosses 580, 2 Mothers 173, Moths 595. 646, Moldings 721, Municipal Government 342, Mutual Aid Societies 361, Music 780, Musical Composition 781, Musicians 927, Mysteries 133, Mysticism 289, Mythology. Comparative 291, Mythology, Greek and Roman 292, Mythology, Norse 293. Names 929, Narcotics 615, National Costumes 390, National Customs 390, Natural History 550-590, Natural Philosophy 530, Natural Science 500, Natural Selection 575, Natural Theology 210, Naturalization 343. 325, Nature 500, Naval Architecture 699, Naval Science 359, Navies 359, Navigation 527. 656, Navigation, Laws 346, Nebraska 977, Necromancers 133, Needlework 646. 793 Negroes, 573. 326, Nepotism, 323, Nestorians, 280, 1 Netherlands, 949, Neuroptera, 595, Neutrals, 341, Nevada, 977, New Brunswick, 972, New England, 974, New Granada, 986, New Guinea, 995, New Hampshire, 974, New Jersey, 975, New Mexico. 977, New Platonists. Philosophy, 186, New Testament, 225, New York, 975, Newfoundland, 971, Newspapers, 50, Nicaragua, 979, Nobility, 322, Non-Christian religions, 290, Normal schools, 371, Norman Conquest, 942, 946, Normandy, 944, Norse, 498, North Africa, 961. America, 970, North America Botany, 578, North America Customs and Costumes, 397, North America Ecclesiastical History, 277, North America, Geography, 917, North America, Geology, 557, North America, History, 970, North America, Statistics, 317, North America. Travels, 917, North Carolina, 976, Northmen, 940, 8, Norway, 940, 8, Nosology, 616, Nova Scotia, 972, Novels, 813, English, 823, French, 843, German, 833, Italian, 853, Spanish, 863, Nubia, 962 numbers. Book of 222 Numismatics, 374 Nunneries, 362 Nursery, 649. Equals Object Teaching, equals 371 Observations. Astronomical, 525 Obstetrics, 618 Ocean Transportation, 387. 656 Oceanica, 990 Botany, 589 Customs and Costumes, 399 Ecclesiastical History, 279 Geography, 919 Geology, 559 History, 990 Statistics, 319 Travels, 919 Oddfellows, 366 Odontology, 611. 617 Ohio, 977 Old French, 449, Old Testament, 221, Oil Manufacture, 664 Oil Painting, 751 Ontology, 111 Operas, 782 Opium, 615 Optics, 535 Oracles, 133 Oratorios, 783 Oratory, 815, English, 825, French, 845, German, 835, Greek, 885, Italian, 855, Latin, 875, Political, 329, Sacred, 251, Spanish, 865, Orchards, 634, Orders of Architecture, 722, 724, Ordination, Sermons, 257, Ordinance, 355. 683, Oregon, 977, Organ, 786, Organic Chemistry, 547, Organic Remains, 562, Oriental Architecture, 722, Oriental Church, 280, 1 Oriental Languages, 490, Oriental Philosophy, 180, 1 Origin of Language, 400, Ornamental Botany, 583, Ornamental Design, 745, Ornamental Work, 745, Ornithology, 598, Orphans, 361, Orthopy, 411, 421, 431, etc. Orthography. Comparative, 411, English, 421, French, 440, 1 German, 430, 1 Greek, 481, Italian, 451, Latin, 471, Spanish, 461, Ottoman Empire, 949, 956, Outdoor Sports, 796, 799, Oxford University, 378, Oysters, 594. 641. Equals Paganism, equals 290, Painters, Lives, 927, Painting, 750. 698 Paleontology, 560, Palestine 956, Pantheism 212, Pantheistic Psychology, 147 Papacy 282, Paper Hanging 698, Paper Manufacture 676, Paper Money 332, Papua 995, Paraguay 989, Parchment 10 Parent and Child 173, Parish Law 343 Parks. Public 711 Parliament 324, Parliamentary Law 348 Parrots, 598 Parsiism 295 Partnership, 343, Parturition 618 Passions, 157, Pastoral Theology 250 Patagonia 989 Patents, 608 Pathology, 616, Patriarchal Institutions, 321 Patriotism. 172, Patristic Philosophy, 189, Patronage 177, Pauperism 339, Pawnbroking 334 Peace, and War 172, Pairs 634 Pete 644, Pedibaptism 264 Peerage, 322 Peloponnesus 938. 949, Penal Law 345 Penance 244, Peninsular War 946 Penitentiaries, 365 Penmanship, 652, Pennsylvania 975, Pentateuch 222, Perception 152, Perfectionists 289, Perfumery 660, 646 Periodicals, see Special Subjects. Fine Arts 705, General 50 History, 905 Literature 805 Natural Science, 505 Philology, 405 Philosophy, 105 Science, 505 Sociology, 305 Theology, 205 Useful Arts, 605 Perpetual Motion, 531 Persecutions, 272 Persia. Ancient History 935 Persia. Modern History 955 Persian Language, 495 Personal Liberty, 342 Personal Property, 342 Personal Rights, 342 Perspective 742, Peru 985 Pests. Agricultural 632, Petrifaction, 560 Petroleum, 549. 665 Pharmacopoeias, 615 Pharmacy, 615 Phi Beta Kappa, 366 Philology, 400 Biography of 924 Philosophy, 100 Philosophy. Ancient 180 Biography of 921, Greek 180. 888 Latin 878, Mental 150, Modern 190, Moral 170 Natural, 530 of Art, 701 History 901, Language 401 Literature 801, Science 501 Sociology 301, Religion 201 Useful Arts, 601, Phoenicia 939 Phoenician Language 493, Phonetic Shorthand. 653, Phonetic Spelling 421 Phonography, 653 Phonology, 414 Photographic Chemistry, 771 Photographs, 773 Photography, 770 Photolithography, 775 Phrase Books, see Language. Phrenology 139 Phthises, 616 Physical Education, 613 Physical Geography, 551 Physics, 530 Physics Molecular, 539 Physiognomy, 138 Physiography, 551 Physiology 612 Physiology Comparative, 591 Physiology. Mental 131 Physiology. Vegetable 580, 1 Pianoforte, 786, Picture Galleries, 759, Piedmont 940, 5 Pig 636, Piracy, 340, 5 Pisciculture 639, Plague, 616. 614 Planets, 523 Plans, for building 692 Plants, 580 Landscape Gardening, 716 Paleontology, 561 Platonic Philosophy, 184 Platonists. New 186 Playing Cards, 795 Plays. See Drama 812. 792, Pleading 349, plumbing 696, plurality of worlds, 521 pneumatics, 533 pneumatology, 150. Poetical books of Bible 223, poetry 811, English 821, French 841, German 831, Greek 880, 1 Italian 851, Latin 871, Spanish 861 poets, lives 928 poisons, 615 Poland, 949 polar regions. Geography 919 polar seas 998. 999 police 354 Polish language 497 politeness 177 political associations 363 political economy 330 political essays 329 political institutions 363 political science 320 political sermons 256 political speeches 329 polity. Ecclesiastical 262, polygamy 173, 345 polygraphy 40 Polynesia. Botany 589 customs and costumes, 399 ecclesiastical history, 279 geography 919 geology, 559 history, 996 languages, 499 statistics, 319 travels 919 polyps, 593, polytheism 290 pomology, 634 ponds. Artificial 714, poor 339, poor laws 343, popery 282, population 312, porcelain 738, portrait painting 757 portraits. Photographs 777, Portugal 946, Portuguese language 469, Portuguese literature 860, positivism 146, postage stamps 383, post offices 383, potato 635, pottery 673, pottery manufacture 673, poultry 636, powder 662. 355, practical astronomy 522, practical theology 240, practical sermons 254, practice of medicine 615, prayer 217, prayer meetings 247, preaching and preachers 250, precedents 343, precious metals 549, predestination 231, pregnancy 618, prehistoric archaeology 571, Presbyterians 284, prescriptions 615, press liberty of 324, primeval man 571, primitive Christianity 270, primiture 322, printing 655, print 769, prison associations 365, prisons 365, private grounds 712, private worship 248, privateers 341, probabilities 519, production 338, productions of the soil 633, progress of civilization 312, progress of population 313, prohibited books 28, prohibition 178, projectiles 358, 531, projection 744, promissory notes 343, pronunciation 411, 421, 431, etc. property 331, property law 342, 343, property tax 336, prophecy 230, 1 prophetical books of Bible 224, prose composition, Greek 485, prose composition, Latin 475, prosody, comparative 416, English 426, French 446, German 436, Greek 486, Italian 456, Latin 476, Spanish 466, prostitution 618. 176, protection 337, Protestant Episcopal 283, Protestantism 283-289, Protestantism and Romanism 282, Protoplasm 576, Protozoa 593, Paleontology 563, Provencal language 449, Proverbs and quotations 819 Proverbs. Bible 223, Providence 2, L4 Provincialisms 427, 437, etc. Pruning 634. 715, Prussia 943 Psalms 223 Pseudonyms, 14 Psychology 140, Public Accounts 336 Public Buildings, 725 Public Charities, 361 Public Documents 328 Public Education, 370 Public Funds, 336 Public Health 614 Public Houses, 390 Public Lands, 353 Meetings 360 Public Schools, 378 Public Speaking 815 Public Worship, 246 Pulpit Oratory 250 Pumps, 532 Punctuation. English 421 Punishment, 345 Puritans 277. 289 Puseyism 244. 283 Pygmies, 599 Pyramids 916. 932 Pyrites 549 Pyrotechnics, 662 Pyrrhonism 186 Pythagorean Philosophy, 182. Quadrumana equals 599 Quadrupeds 599 Quakers 289 Qualitative Analysis, 544 Quantitative Analysis, 545 Quarantine 614 Quaternions, 518 Quotations, 819, 829, etc. Racehorse equals 798 Races. History 572, Racing 798 Radiates, 593 Radiates Paleontology, 563 Railroad Engineering, 625 Railroad Locomotives, 621 Railroads, 385 Railways. Laws of 343 Reign, 551, Rank 322, Rationalism 211. 155 Readers 418, 428, 438, etc. Reading. Art of 815 Reading Courses 15. 16 Reading for Self-Education 374, Real Estate Law 343, Reason 155, Rebellion. Southern 973, Recipe Books 640, Recreation 790, Reformation 274, Reformatory Associations 364, Reformatory Institutions 364, Reformed Church 289, Regeneration 234, Regiments 613, Regulations of Armies 355, Regulations of Navies 359, Religion and Science 215, Religion and Sermons 255, Religions. Non-Christian 290, Religious Anecdotes 249, Religious Associations 362, Religious Biography 922, Religious Education 377, Religious Fiction 249, Religious Institutions 362, Religious Orders 271, Religious Philosophy 201, Remains 560, Rents 333, Repentance 234. 241 Reptiles 598, Reptiles Paleontology 568, Republican Institutions 324, Resistance of Materials 691, Resurrection 236, Retribution 237, Revealed Religion 230, 1 Revelation 230, 1 Revenue 336, Reviews. See Periodicals. Revivals 269, Revolution, American 973, Revolution, French 944, Rhetoric 815, Rhetoric Sacred 251, Rhode Island 974, Rhododendron 580, 2 Riddles 819, 829. Etc. Writing 798, Right of Search 341, Rights and Liberties 340, 2 Riots 343, Ritualism 240, 4 River Transportation 387, Rivers 551, Roads 625, Rocky Mountains 557. 917, Rodentia 599, Roman Antiquities 937, Roman Architecture 722, Roman Catholics 282, Roman History. Ancient 937, Roman History. Modern 940, 5 Roman literature 870, Roman law 340, 8 Roman mythology 292, Roman sculpture 733, Romance 813, English 823, French 843, German 833, Italian 853, religious 240, 9 Spanish 863, Romanic languages 440-469, Romansh language 459, Rome, ancient 937, Rome, modern 945, Romish church 282, rope making 677, rowing 797, rubber manufactures 675, ruminants 599, rural architecture 728, rural sports 796, Russia 947, Russian America 977, Russian language 497. Sabbatarians equals 289, Sabbath 263, Sabbath Reform 263, Sabbath schools 268, Sacrament of Baptism 264, Sacrament of Lord's Supper 265, Sacred Biography 922, Sacred Rhetoric 251, Sacrifices 221, Saddlery 680, 5 Sailors 387, Saint Domingo 979, Sale Catalogues. Of Book 17, 18 Salt Manufacture 664, Salvation 234, Sandwich Islands 997, Sanitary Commissions 364, Sanitary Commissions, U.S. 361, Sanitary Measures 614, Sanskrit language 494, Sardinia 940, 5 Satan 235, Satire 817, English 827, French 847, German 837, Italian 857, Latin 877, Spanish 867, Savings Banks 332, Saxon language 429, Saxons 943, Scandinavia 948, Scandinavian language 498, Scandinavian literature 898, Skepticism 211, Scholastic philosophy 198, Schools 378, Schools Sunday 268, School architecture 727, Schoolhouses 727, Schools of art 707, Schools of painting 753-756, Schopenhauer's philosophy 193, Schleswig-Holstein 943, Science natural 500, Biography of 925 scientific societies 506, Scientific travels 508, Scotland 940, 1 Scotch language 496, Scotch philosophy 192, Scriptures 220, Scrofulous diseases 616, Sculpture 730, Sculptors lives 927, Seamanship 656, 527, Secession 342, Second Advent 236, Second Sight 133, Secret societies 366, Sects Christian 280, Secular education 377, Self-culture 374, Self-education 374, Semitic languages 493, Semitic literature 893, Sensation 152, Sensational psychology 145, Sense 152, Sepulchres 718, Sepulture 614, Sermons 252-259, Serpents 598, Servants 647, Servia 949, Sewerage 614, Sewing 687, Sewing machine 687, Sex and education 376, Sexual ethics 176, Sexual science 618, Sexes 136, Shades and shadows 744, Shakers 289, Shakespeareana 822, Sheep 636, Shells 594, Shells fossil 564, Shemitic languages 493, Shipbuilding 699, Ship canals 626, 387, Shipping laws 346, Shoemaking 685, 675, Shooting 799, Shorthand 653, Shrubbery 716, Siam 959, Siberia 957, Sicily 945, Sickroom 649, Sieges 355, 623, Site 536, Site Hygiene, 613 Signals, 654 Sign Painting, 698 Silk Culture, 638 Silk Manufacture, 677 Silkworm, 638. 595 Silver Metal, 549 Silver Mines, 628 Silver Money, 332 Sin, 233 Singing, 780 Four Sisters of Mercy, 362 Skating, 796 Skepticism, 211 Skin Diseases, 616 Sky, 941 Slander, 177 345 Slang, 427 437 etc. Slating, 695 Slavery, 326 Slavic Language, 497 Slavic Literature, 897 Sleep, 135 Sleepwalking, 135 Smallpox, 616 614 Soap Making, 664 Social Ethics, 177 Social Science, 300 Social Worship, 247 Socialisms, 335 Societies, Fine Arts, 706 Societies, General, 60 Societies, History, 906 Societies, Literature, 806 Societies, Natural Science, 506 Societies, Philology, 406 Societies, Philosophy, 106 Societies, Science, 506 Societies, Secret, 366 Societies, Sociology, 306 Societies, Theology, 206 Societies, Useful Arts, 606 Society, 177 Sociology, 300 Sociology, Biography of 923 Socratic Philosophy, 183 Soils, 630 1 Solar System, 523 Soldiers, 355 Somnambulism, 135 Songs, 784 Sonnets, 811 821 etc. Sophist Philosophy, 183 Sorcery, 133 Soul, 233 Sound, 534 South Africa, 968 Botany, 586 Geography, 916 South America, 980 Botany, 588 Customs and Costumes, 398 Ecclesiastical History, 278 Geography, 918 Geology, 558 History, 980 Statistic, 318 Travels, 918 South Carolina, 976 South Seas, 999 Southern States, 976 Spain, 946 Spanish Language, 460 Spanish Literature, 860 Spanish Philosophy, 196 Specie Payment, 332 Specifications for Building, 692 Specters, 133 Spectroscope, 535 Spectrum Analysis, 544 Speeches, see Oratory, Spherical Astronomy, 521 Spherical Geometry, 513 Spherical Trigonometry, 514 Spiders, 595 Spinoza's Philosophy, 147 Spiritualism, 133 Spontaneous Generation, 577 Sports, 796 Stables, 636 State, 792 Stained Glass, 745 Stammering, 616 Stamps, 383 Standing Army, 355 Starch Manufacture, 664 Stars, 523 State, 320 State Ethics, 172 State Papers, 328 State Rights, 342 State Trials, 345 Statesmen, Lives, 923 Statics, 531 Statistical Methods, 311 Statistics, 310 Statuary, 730 Statute Law, 343 Steam Engine, 621 Steam Fitting, 696 Steam Navigation, 527 656 Steam Transportation, 385 656 Steel, 669 Steel Engraving, 762 Stenography, 653 Stereotyping, 655 Stereoscopes, and Views, 776 Stethoscope, 616 Stipple Engraving, 765 Stock, Live, 636 Stocks, 333 Stoic Philosophy, 188 Stoneware, 673 Storms, 551 Stills, 663 Strategy, 355 Strawberries, 634, stringed instruments, 787 study. Methods of 371, stuttering 616 sublime, and beautiful 701 submarine telegraph, 384 succession, 323 suffrage, 324 sugarcane, 633 sugar manufacture, 664 sugar planting, 633 suicide, 131 Sumatra, 992 summer houses, 717 sun, 523 Sunda, 992 Sunday schools, 268 supernaturalism, 133 superstition, 133 surgery, 617 surnames, 929 surveying, 622 susceptibility, 157 Sweden, 948 Swedenborgens, 289 swimming, 796 swine, 636 Switzerland, 949 syllogism, 160 symbolism, 219 synonyms, English 424 synonyms, French 444 synonyms, German 434 synonyms, Greek 484 synonyms, Italian 454 synonyms, Latin 474 synonyms, Spanish 464, syphilis 616, Syria 956, Syriac language 493, Syro-Chaldaic 493, systematic botany 582. Tableau equals 791 tables, dining 643 tables, mathematical 514, tachygraphy 653, tactics 355, tailoring 687, tachography 653, tales, see romance. Talmud 296, tanning 675, tariffs 337, Tartary 951, 959, taste and criticism 701, taxation 336, taxidermy 579, tea cultivation 633, teachers and teaching 371, technology, chemical 660, teeth 611, 617, Tehuantepec 978, telegraph 384, telegraphy 654, telescope 535, 522, temperaments 137, temperance 178, temperature 551, 536, Templars 366, Tennessee 976, Testacea 594, Testament, New 225, Testament, Old 221, Testamentary Law 349, Testimony 349, Texas 976, Textile fabrics 677 texts, Comparative 418 texts, English 428 texts, French 448 texts, German 438 texts, Greek, with notes 488 texts, Greek, without notes 880 texts, Italian 458 texts, Latin, with notes 478 texts, Latin, without notes 870 texts, Spanish 468, Thanksgiving 244, theater, see drama. Theater, ethics 175, theaters 792, theatricals 792, theft 345, theism 211, theodicy 231, 214, theological doctrine 230, theological essays 204, theology 200, theology biography of 922, theology devotional 240, theology natural 210, theology practical 240, theoretical astronomy 521, theoretical chemistry 541, theoretical ethics 171, therapeutics 615, Thibet 951, 39 articles, 283, Thomsonianism 615, thought 153, throat diseases 616, thunder 537, tides 521, tiling 695, timber 691, tin manufacture 671, tin mineral 549, tithes 336, tobacco 615, 178, 633, toilet 646, tolls 336, tombs 718, topographical engineering 622, topography 910, total abstinence 178, toxicology 615, tractarianism 244, 283, tract society 362, trade 380, trade marks 608, trades Mechanic 680 trades. Unions 367, 606, 331 tragedies, see drama. Transactions 106, 206, 306, etc. Transcendentalism 142 translation. Greek authors 880 translation. Latin authors 870 transportation 380, 656. 345. Transubstantiation 282, Transylvania 943, Trapping 639, Travels 910, Travels Scientific 508, Treason 345 Treasury, 352 Trees, 580 Trees. Ornamental 715 Trespass, 345 Trials 340 Trigonometry, 514 Trilobites, 565 Trinity 230, 2 Troubadours 449. 840, 1 Trunk making 680, 5 Trusts and Trustees, 344 Tungusic language, 499 Tunnels, 625 Turkey 949, Turkey in Asia 956 Turkish baths, 613 Turkish language, 499, Turning 674 Tuscany 945 Type, Founding 671 Typography, 655 Tyrol. 943. Equals understanding equals 153 uniforms, 355 Unitarians, 288 United States 324. 973. Botany 587 Customs and Costumes, 397 Ecclesiastical History 277, Geography 917 Geology, 557 History 973, Statistics 317 Travels 917 Universal History, 909 Universal Language, 408 Universalism, 288 Universities, 378 Universit. Education 373, Upholstering 645, Uruguay 989, Useful Arts 600 Biography of 926, Usury 330, 4 Utah 977. Equals Vases equals 738, Vaudois 272. 949 Vegetable Physiology, 580 1 Vegetable Practice, 615 Vegetables, 635 Vegetarianism, 613 Venereal Diseases, 616 Venezuela, 987 Venice, 945 Ventilation, 697 Ventriloquism 133, Vermont 974 Versification, 811 Vertebrates, 596 Vertebrates. Paleontology 566, Veterinary Medicine 619 Villas, 728 Violin 787, Virginia 976, Virtue 170 Vision, 535 Visions and Dreams 135, Vital Principle 576. 612 Vocal Culture 784. 815 Vocal Music 780, 4 Voice 780, 4 Volcanoes, 553 Voyages 910. Equals Wages equals 331 Wakefulness, 135 Waldenses, 272. 945 Wales 942 Walks 713 Wallation Language, 459, War Ethics 172 War Science, 355, 359, Warehouses 380 Warming, 697, Washing 648 Washington Territory 977, Watchmaking 681 Water, Artificial Ponds, etc. 714, Watercolors 751, Water Cure 615 Water Wheels, 531. 621, Waterworks 628 Watering Places, 613 Wax Flowers, 745 Wealth, 331. Weather 551 Weaving, 677 Weights and Measures, 389 Welsh Language, 496 West Indies 979, West Virginia 976, Western States, 977 Whale, 599 Whale Fisheries. 639, Wheat 633 Wigs, 324 Whigs English 323 Whist 795 Will 159 Wills 343 Wind Instruments 780 8 Wine 663 Wisconsin 977 Wit 819 829 839 etc. Witchcraft 133 Woman Education 376 Woman Suffrage 324 Wood engraving 761 Wood manufactures 674 Wool 636 Wool manufactures 677 Working classes 331 Worship 246 248 Writing 651 Writing shorthand 653 Equals xylography equals 655 Equals yachting equals 797 Yearbooks 313 Yellow Fever 616 Young Men's Association 362 Equals Zend equals 295 Zend Avesta 295 Zodiac 521 Zoology 590 Zoophytes 593 Zoroaster 295 Explanations The titles of the subject catalog are exact transcriptions of the title page, neither amended, translated, or in any way altered, except that mottos, titles of authors, repetitions, or matter of any kind not essential to a clear titular description are omitted. Omissions of mottos are indicated by 3 stars, of other matter by 3 dots. The phraseology, spelling, and punctuation of the title are exactly copied, but capitals are given only to proper names and adjectives and initial words of sentences. Any additions needed to make the title clear are supplied and enclosed by brackets. After the titles are given in order, the place of publication, the year of copyright if different in brackets, the edition, the number of volumes or of pages if in only one volume, the illustrations, maps, plates, or portraits, and the size nearest in the arbitrary scale, regardless of the fold of the sheet. This scale gives the heights in decimeters. Square and oblong books have the size prefixed by SQ or ob. Books 1 decimeter high are called 32 degrees, 1.5 deci, 16 degrees, 2 deci, 12 degrees, 2.5 deci, 8 degrees, 3 deci, 4 degrees, and all others are marked simply by the nearest height, i.e. a book marked 4 is between 3.5 and 4.5 decimeters high. In books having more than one pagination, the number of pages is indicated by giving the last number of each pagination connected by a plus. An added plus indicates additional matter unpaged. These imprint entries give the facts regardless of the title page, and are left blank only when they can be ascertained neither from the book itself or other sources. The contents of volumes are given when on title pages, or when necessary to properly identify the volume, but no analysis is attempted. Necessary notes are given at the bottom of the subject card after the imprint entries. Duplicates are simply marked copy 2, copy 3, etc., and bear the same class and book number. But editions of the same book distinct in character are catalogued separately. In all the catalogs, books are entered under the surnames of authors when known, under the initials of authors' names when these only appear, the last initial being put first, under the pseudonyms of the writers when the real names are not ascertained, under the names of editors of collections, under the names of countries, cities, societies, or other bodies which are responsible for their publication. Under the first word not an article of the titles of periodicals and of anonymous books, the names of whose authors are not ascertained. Commentaries with the text and translations are entered under the heading of the original work, but commentaries without the text are entered under the name of the commentator. The Bible, or any part of it in any language, is entered under the word Bible. Books having more than one author are entered under the first named on the title. In the headings of titles, the names of authors are given in their vernacular form. In English and French surnames beginning with a prefix, except the French du and di, the name is recorded under the prefix. In other languages and in French names beginning with du and di, the name is recorded under the word following the prefix. Compound surnames are entered under the first part of the name. Noblemen and ecclesiastical dignitaries are entered under their family names, but sovereigns, princes, oriental writers, friars, persons canonized, and all other persons known only by their first name, are entered under this first name. The catalogue is not a biographical dictionary, so only gives the names of authors with sufficient fullness to distinguish them from each other in practical use. Names in equals full face type equals are the ruling headings under which the books are entered in the various catalogues. Entries not beginning with this type are in addition to the first or main entry, and are made under the names of translators, editors, commentators, continuators, etc., as participators in the authorship. Also in the case of books having more than one author, or having both generic and specific titles, or published by societies or other bodies, and having also the name of the individual author. These additional entries are made in order to carry out the plan of the author's catalogue, which aims to give under each author's name all his works which the library contains. The works of an author known by more than one name are given all together, under the form of name chosen. Any other name or title by which he may be known, if it differs in the first 3 letters, is entered in its alphabetical place, followed by the word C and the name under which the books are entered. Such cross-references have no titles given under them, but are simply guides to the name chosen. A single dash indicates the omission of the preceding heading. A subsequent dash indicates the omission of a subordinate heading or of a title. A dash connecting numbers signifies to and including. Following a number, it signifies continuation. A, following a word or entry, signifies probably. Brackets enclose words added to titles or changed in form. The German diphthongs "o" you are written IOU. Dates are all given in years of the common calendar, and Arabic numerals are uniformly used for all numbers. Subject catalogue. The subject catalogue on large cards can be used to advantage only with the aid of the classification or index. To find what the library has on any given subject, get from the index the class number of that subject. Under this number in the subject catalogue will be found the full titles of the books, with imprints, cross-references, and notes. The class number, by which the cards are arranged, is given in the upper left corner, and immediately under it is the book number. Any other class number given in the left-hand margin refers to another subject of which the book also treats. When the class number at the top is followed by an additional figure in brackets, the subject as given in the printed scheme has been subdivided in arranging the cards. This subdivision will be found on the first card of the catalogue, which bears this class number. These figures in brackets determine the arrangement of the titles in the catalogue, but on the shelves, in the shelf catalogue, and in calling for and charging books, they are entirely disregarded. Thus, a book numbered 942, 7. 14 would be in the catalogue among the 942 cards arranged by the figure in brackets as though it were a decimal, but it would be called for as 942.14, the brackets indicating that the final classing was limited to the catalogue and was not extended to the shelves. If a fourth figure is added without brackets, the final classing is extended to the shelves as well as to the catalogue, and all the figures must be used in calling for the book. In such cases, the added figure is treated as a decimal in the arrangement, though the decimal point is not written. The last card, which bears any class number, gives under that number, followed by the word see the call numbers of other books which treat of the same subject, but are classed elsewhere. General cross-references are also made in many cases without specifying individual books, as from commerce as a question of social science, 380, to commerce as a useful art, bookkeeping business manuals, etc., 650. In such cases, there is a card under 380 marked C650, and under 650, there is a card marked C380. From whatever standpoint a subject is approached, the cross-references guide at once to the same subject treated in its other relations. These cross-references, both general and specific, are often accompanied by brief notes, characterizing the books to which reference is made. There will be found at the beginning of many class numbers a card noting the most reliable books on that subject, and the best of the articles in periodicals, transactions, and collected works with the volume and page where they may be found. It is hoped to give special prominence to these notes for the guidance of readers, and they will be added as rapidly as other duties allow. Many subjects will have no subsection cards at the beginning, some will have no reference cards at the end, and some may have no titles given under the number. The scheme provides a place for books on all subjects, whether the library has them or not, so where no titles are given under a class number, it shows that the library has as yet no books on that subject. Articles in periodicals and transactions, separate volumes of sets and collections which are located together, if catalogued, are put under their proper subject number, but no book number is given with it. The call number of the book, where they may be found, is always given in the margin preceded by the word in. In the same way, special chapters in books will sometimes be catalogued, e.g. a card marked 338 in 331-27 would mean that in the 27 books on 331, Capital and Labor, there was a chapter on 338, Production. End of the Project Gutenberg ebook of a classification and subject index for cataloging and arranging the books and pamphlets of a library by Melvil Dewey.